John. John, it's been less than 24 hours since I saw you last.
Yes,
it's been less than 24 hours since I saw you last. That Power Rangers recording was a debacle, but I'll tell you what's not a debacle. That's the Rage Like podcast. It's kind of always a debacle. I'm a liar.
Well, I wasn't going to call you out on it or anything. I was going to be nice and let you have that veil of protection over
ignorance
of ignorance for the viewers.
No, I call myself out. I don't care. So, welcome back, officially, everybody, to the Rage Select podcast. Here, Rage Select. I am Jeff.
I'm John.
And John, we got a stacked deck this week. We got a full house. We got
fucking packs.
We got a fuller house, man. We got all kinds of stuff. And I tell you what. Normally, this is the point in the podcast where I say something about a trailer to put in the thumbnail, or I talk about the thing that I watched last week. I played Sekiro, and that was all I did last week. And so we could talk about that before we get to the questions. Maybe talk a little bit about what it is and what it isn't, and what I think about it. Did you do anything of note last week?
I watched a lot of Kamen Rider Zeo and Murder, She Wrote.
All right.
So I think we can move on.
I think we just... This is the beginning of the podcast. I think this might be a record. We're 2 minutes into the podcast, and it's just like,
but here's the thing.
No?
We got a shit ton of stuff to talk about in the news.
That is correct.
I am perfectly fine not going over what I did this week.
Okay, and I was thinking about how I feel like every single podcast always ends up with like getting halfway through the news and then being like, fuck, now I have to just say, yeah, and then a thing happened, and here's the release date, and there was a trailer, and I didn't like it. So, yeah, let's get right in, and then that way we can discuss at length all of the things that happened last week.
To a degree.
To a degree, yes. One of the first big things that happened was after, this was already teased, and I feel like everybody's been knowing about this for a long time. We finally got a full-on reveal trailer announcement for Borderlands 3.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the other thing, the more important thing.
No, Borderlands 3.
Actually, I'm excited for Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
I like the trailer. I think it looks fun. Some people are complaining that it just looks more like more Borderlands, and I'm like, is that a bad thing?
Okay, so good that you asked, because my answer to that question is yes. I was watching this trailer, and I realized that I feel like after this is technically the fourth Borderlands game.
Yeah, it's technically the fourth game, not counting like mobile games and other bullshit.
Yeah, VR games. But I think that the art style for Borderlands has started, in my mind at least, a little bit to kind of work against it, because everything here just looks like it's like a Borderlands soup, and it all just kind of like, nothing is striking about this trailer to me. It's just, here's a bunch of cel-shaded people with guns in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and the trailer wasn't even as bombastic as some of the previous Borderlands trailers about I think a Borderlands 2 trailer was just fucking flashing lights in your face, screaming about billions and billions and billions of guns.
This has got billions of guns. You want guns with legs? We got that for you, bro.
Yeah, that was cool. I wish there was a little bit more than that. I mean, I don't know. The thing is that I think that I was okay. All right, let me put my thoughts into a cohesive package. This appears to be more Borderlands. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I personally was kind of through with Borderlands at the end of Borderlands 2. So the idea of just having more Borderlands after 3 games that have just kind of been the same game over and over and over again does not exactly fill me with, it doesn't look bad, but I'm not jumping out of my chair to give the money for it. That's what I got out of this. I mean, there does seem to be a tease in the trailer that you're going to be going to different places, so maybe it all won't just look like the apocalyptic wasteland.
So it does say you're going to be going to different worlds, and it does show different biomes. Like there's a city, there's there's a jungle, there's there's different world types. Yeah. So you're not just on Pandora and or its moon, like in the previous games.
Yes.
Which I see. My thing was more of I'm just happy because I feel like had they released Borderlands 3 the following year after Borderlands, the pre-sequel, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It would have been too much, too soon. I would have been done with it. There's been enough time passed since then, even since the Telltale game, Tales of the Borderlands, which one of the main characters from that is actually in this as well.
Oh, okay.
He's in the trailer. There's been enough time since then that I feel like, yeah, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this type of game. I'm ready. I know we got like the Borderlands Handsome Jack collection, and you know on the new consoles that people play, but it's like it is a I don't want to go back and play those games because I played Borderlands 1, 2, and pre-sequel like 100 times.
Yeah,
I want to play a new game, but that's I want to play that same style of game but with new,
right?
And that's what this is.
Okay,
so that's for me, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and again, I think that it just. I like, again, it looks fine as a Borderlands game. Yeah. It's just, you know what? Maybe what I really wanted to see was like, there's obviously 4 new protagonists. Yeah. And maybe I wanted to see like, what are their powers? Because at a certain point, like that,
a little bit of it,
that becomes like more important than like, or they put that whole guns with legs thing like at the very end of the trailer. I feel like there's some stuff. I don't know. And
they did say because this was revealed at PAX, and they did actually state that expect more announcements on April 3rd,
right,
for this game. Which so on April 3rd or whatever, we're probably going to get another trailer. Like I feel like this trailer was specifically for people who wanted Borderlands 3 to be announced and were just excited for more Borderlands.
Yeah.
So this trailer is constructed in a way that tells them, hey, here's a taste of what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So now on April 3rd or whatever, which is next fucking week, in a couple days after this podcast actually comes out, we're going to, they'll probably go, oh, and it's coming out on X date, and here's some information about the story.
Right.
Like they'll probably then give a little bit more. But I think the thing that pissed me off, if I can speak frankly, and this is not based on what you said, because I've been seeing a lot of people being like, oh, it looks like more Borderlands. It looks like Borderlands 2. This is bullshit. Should have just been an expansion. Like that's been a lot of the thing. But then like I've actually seen some people go, you know what? I would have preferred a battle royale game that like it was rumored to be. So fuck this game.
Yeah,
it's like, no, go fuck yourself.
I don't know that I'm totally down with that. Or like, if this game has a battle royale mode, that would be fine. But like scrapping that whole thing, I guess for me, what I was hoping for, and maybe it's just again, like I don't know. I've watched this trailer 3 times, and I'm making a lot of assumptions here.
Yeah,
but like 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was like a Rage 2 trailer that just showed all this crazy looking Bulletstorm stuff that you could do in Rage 2.
Yeah.
That got me really excited to play Rage 2. And I guess when I looked at this trailer, I was just like, oh, so you're gonna shoot a bunch of guys, you're gonna shoot more guys, they're gonna drop guns.
But
most of those guns.
This trailer has Brick playing a saxophone.
Yeah. But that's not going to like factor into what
and he has a mustache for some reason when he's playing the saxophone.
But that's not going to like factor into what this game is. I don't know. You know what? I was kind of done with Borderlands around the end of Borderlands 2. That's me. So
yeah, and I can understand that. And and if you're not excited for it, that's also.
I mean, like, Gearbox hasn't exactly been knocking it out of the park recently.
No, so. I agree with you. That's something that a lot of people, what was it called? Battleborn or whatever the fuck it's called?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Everyone tries to forget about and pretend didn't exist.
Yep.
Like
that weird Duke Nukem re-release of Bulletstorm that they're now putting on the Switch for some reason.
Yeah, that comes out on the Switch. And then in addition to this, are we going to talk about the other things that they announced in related to Borderlands?
Yeah. I just kind of wanted to finish up here.
Was
first.
there more you wanted to say about this? Or?
I don't know. I'm sure that's fine. I guess all I wanted to finish by saying was that, I'll play it. I'll give it a shot. It's just what it is it's like so often we live in this online space where you and I have talked about this 100 times before, where everything is either like the best or the worst. And I'm not saying that this is either the best or the worst. I'm just saying that when I look at it, nothing that I see is really just like, oh shit, they're really pushing it to the next level with Borderlands. It just looks like more mutants, more cars, more guns, and everything kind of looks very similar to what Borderlands 2
I mean, if
was.
anything,
So-
what is it? The what's the class that what's her name is that has like the special like psi powers or whatever
Oh,
from
like
the
a siren or something
sirens.
like that. I don't know.
The fact that the female siren in this game is essentially the tank. Like
Yeah.
she does that thing where she like puts her fists together and then like sprouts muscular arms.
Yeah.
Like that fucking looks awesome. Like that shit kind of makes me go, okay, I'm on board. They're doing weird stuff with the characters, and that's what I want. I just want to see weird, funky shit happening, and I want to play that game.
I remain neutral. We'll see how it comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, basically,
and I'm not. And again, I don't think it's going to be the best game ever either. But it's exactly what I wanted out of a. I guess that's the thing for me.
Yeah.
This was exactly what I was expecting out of a Borderlands 3 trailer. It didn't give me more than that. But I feel like a lot of people are faulting it for not being more than what everyone expected out of a Borderlands trailer. And again, I'm not saying you.
No.
I'm just saying on the internet, there's been this weird reaction to it where it's like, well, it looks like another Borderlands game. Well, what did you want? Well, I wanted a Borderlands 3. Okay, you got this is a trailer for Borderlands 3, but it's showing me exactly what I expected. Yeah, because it's Borderlands. It's like what's the argument here? It's like because it didn't surprise you, therefore it sucks and is garbage. What kind of fucking mentality is that we've gotten into a point with video games that something is shown gives us exactly what we asked for, yet we're shitting on it. And again, not you, but we're shitting on it as a culture on the internet, as a fans,
Sure.
because it didn't do something that we didn't expect.
Yes.
I've
been through this before.
I'll even call out a website, Polygon. I've stopped reading Polygon because every fucking day they release an article. It's like, this sucks because of this. Like, Overwatch sucks because it's not Fortnite. This trailer sucks because it doesn't have a battle royale mode.
Yeah.
This game sucks because of literally, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, it's just everything is negative for the purpose of being negative because it didn't do something that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why do you play Like, not you again. Not when I say this, I'm talking to the general audience. If this is
you're
your
looking
mentality,
right at me.
well, it's because I'm talking to you. But it's like, to the general audience, it's like if all you do is complain. Like, I get that, like, for Sekiro, for example, a lot of people got that game, and when it came out, people bitched that it wasn't Bloodborne, a Soulsborne game.
Right.
Like, people were like, this game sucks because it's not Soulsborne.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's a good game. What?
Yeah, I went down that rabbit hole last week where I was literally reading Metacritic user scores of Sekiro, giving it a 0, and there were some that were even like, this is a great character action game, but because FromSoft put it out and I expect a Souls game, 0. It was like, wow. I mean, just wowies. First off, I remember From Software's games that did not have the word Souls in them.
Yeah.
Like, Armored Core and the Shadow Tower and
King's Quest? Kingsfield? Or whatever it's called?
Kingsfield, Otogi, right? Like, I remember that they had games that were not just Soulsborne games, but
that one Tenchu spinoff?
Yep. I mean, I take your point. I really do. I mean, for me, it's just, I guess, when I watch this trailer, you know what? Let's just back it all up to the beginning for Jeff. Borderlands is not a franchise that I'm in love with.
And I get that.
And that's all
actually
there is
the
to
big
me.
reason why I've actually been saying, and I'm not talking about you, because I know you like you've been saying, you were kind of done with Borderlands at Borderlands 2.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm constantly pointing out, I'm not talking about you because I understand why you're kind of not.
Well, and then I guess I can kind of empathize, not as much because I don't tend to jump right down to the bottom of the negativity well, but like, I heard, there's a trailer for Borderlands 3. I watched it and I was like, come on, trailer, show me something I've never seen before. And I was like, okay, you didn't do that. Yeah. Cool. Bye-bye.
And like I said, I honestly feel like they went into this trailer going, people want Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
We just need to show them Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
And that it's Borderlands 3 and not a Borderlands Battle Royale game or a turning Borderlands into Battleborn or whatever the fuck, like
a hero shooter or something like that.
Yeah, like a hero shooter. It's like, let's show them that what they're getting is Borderlands.
Yep.
Now, And that's exactly what they did. Now, could it turn out that like they on April 3rd or whatever day they're claiming they're going to release more info? Could it turn out that there's a shit ton more stuff that is like adding on to the Borderlands experience to enhance it or make it better?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Also, it's also positive that they may just go, nah, it's just more Borderlands, and also it comes out next week. It like literally they could totally do that.
Yep, I mean it could go either way.
Yeah.
It's fine. This is just one of those ones where I'm not willing to spend any excitement on it until I see a little bit more of it.
I understand.
But if you are a fan of Borderlands, this was not just Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Borderlands 2, Borderlands the pre-sequel, the Handsome Jack collection, are getting a graphical upgrade.
Yeah, they're getting an Ultra HD upgrade as a free patch for anyone who bought them. So that's on PC and I think on consoles as well, like an upgrade for PS4 Pro and Xbox One X to make the graphics look better. And then they had one more announcement.
That Borderlands 1 is also going to be remastered out on April 3rd.
Getting the full Ultra HD treatment.
Yep, and it's getting... one of the things is, when I was watching the gameplay trailer for it, they kind of made a big deal about talking about, like, it's got a radar now, and I was like, oh, did Borderlands 1 not have, like, a radar before?
Yeah.
But
also, they added some new, like, head... Because you could change... In Borderlands 1, you could change the heads, skins of the heads. And so they added a bunch of new ones that were not in the game previously.
Okay.
And if you own the game, Borderlands 1, the Game of the Year edition, on PC, you get that upgrade for free as well.
Okay. And then Borderlands 1 has not been available on the current gen consoles.
Correct.
So, yeah. That's, again, if you're a fan of Borderlands, hey, great.
About the only thing they didn't announce that I was expecting is literally Borderlands Game of the Year edition on Switch and the Handsome Jack collection also on Switch.
Oh, right.
Instead, we got Bulletstorm being announced for Switch, which... you know what? You and I love that game. More if you never played it and for some reason you only own a Switch now, totally get it. But like I said, it's just don't play it with Duke Nukem. Don't play it with the Duke Nukem thing. Yeah. If you haven't played it before, please, for the love of God, don't play it with the Duke Nukem turned on. Play it with Gray or whatever his name is, like the main guy, because it's great and it's wonderful and I love. But Bulletstorm is also, you know what? I'm just going to say real fast. I think this is another Gearbox issue. Like, this Gearbox right now, or for the last few years, to me has felt a lot like Capcom, where it's it's just re-releasing HDs, the same game over and over and over again.
Yeah, a couple of failed projects. Randy Pitchford left his underage porno at a medieval times restaurant. I will never get tired of that being a thing that happened in real life. In real life, that happened.
Yeah. Then they also announced a Borderlands card game.
Oh, I didn't get that. I didn't get that far.
Yeah, it's called Tiny Tina's Robotic Tea Party.
I hate Tiny Tina.
It's basically you're building claptraps.
Okay.
The point of the game is you do things to build claptraps and try to complete them before the other people at the tea party. And then Randy Pitchford stood on stage during the PAX thing and read the instructions. Like, he opened the box, pulled out the instructions, and just started reading them. And then at some point, he stopped reading them, walked over to one of the people on stage that he had invited on the stage for some reason.
Okay.
And did a magic trick using the cards that was in the game. And it was just like, what? Why is this happening?
You know what game I want to see? I want a bad... You know what? I want a notorious game developer squad-based shooter where it's like David Cage and Randy Pitchford and Suda51 and they're all trying to bust Kojima out of Shigeru Miyamoto's jail or something like that. What do you mean he did a magic trick on? Go make games, Pitchford.
It's not the first time he's done it.
I know.
It's also just weird.
I know. I used to hang around with Brian Brushwood all the time. He didn't just do magic at me. Anyway, I don't know. Again,
but sometimes don't you wish he just would?
No, not anymore. After editing enough card tricks, no is the answer to that question for me. But anyway, okay, listen. You got all the Bulletstorm out of your system. Can we please just fucking make Bulletstorm 2? Could somebody because it'd be one thing if they would just let Bulletstorm die and go into like vaporware territory, but for the love of God, could somebody give whatever remains of People Can Fly some money and let them make some fucking Bulletstorm and then announce it at E3 and everybody, and then it'd just be me going, woo!
Would it be crazy if this year at E3 they announced Bulletstorm 2?
I would appreciate that. I would like it.
Like during the Xbox briefing or whatever.
Sure.
Randy Pitchford came out and said, first off, Borderlands 3 comes out today.
Right.
And it's...
And he holds up the CD case and like waves his hand in front of it, and it's like the cover art for
also there's another announcement. Bulletstorm 2. Here's the trailer. Comes out Christmas of this year. You heard it here first, people. If it actually happens, we called it. Anyways.
Yeah. I don't know. I play Borderlands if you played Bulletstorm if you haven't already. Play Borderlands if you haven't already. Like, if you've ever played Borderlands, yeah, man, go get the updated version of it and just go play it. Just go check it out. And there's a reason that people like that game.
Yeah.
I just got a little tiresome for me by the end of it. So,
I just hope that they fix their pacing problem with the games, because I feel like 1 and 2 had this problem where, and strangely, pre-sequel did not.
Yeah.
Where it takes forever to get,
start the game
to get to the point where the game is starting to get interesting.
Oh boy.
I feel like pre-sequel bypassed that, and I think it was partially because it was a different studio.
Yeah.
But I really hope they fix that, because I can't, like, every time I've tried to go back and play Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2, because I literally went through the game with each character. So I've gone through it at least 4 times.
Yeah.
But I've played those open.
2 has like 6 characters, right? They put
they added more characters.
Techromancer and the Psycho.
Yeah. But it's like I played through them so many times to play all those characters that it's just like, every time I've been like, you know what? I haven't played Borderlands in a long time, or Borderlands 2 in a long time. I'm going to play that because I think I have it on like either through PS Plus or Xbox.
Oh my God, that beginning takes for fucking
But it's
ever.
just like, and then I start playing the beginning, I'm like, oh, right.
Well, first you can't skip the cutscene, and then it's like, oh, Claptrap's in the snow. Oh, Claptrap's I got taken by the Bullymong. Oh, let's go kill the Bullymong. Oh, here's Haverlock. Oh, now we've got to go like destroy this raider village. It takes so long to get to the outpost, to your hub. Like,
yeah.
And it really sucks the joy out of replaying it, because it's like, God damn, I don't want to do all this shit again. Like, I want to get to the meat and potatoes.
I really hope that they figured out what they're doing wrong with that, to either fix the pacing for that, or to fix it to be like, do you want to start over from the beginning, or would you like to just start from this point and we'll give you the skill points?
I'd settle for that. Well, speaking of skills,
skills for kills, agent.
That wasn't a good one. We also had a big old state of play. The Sony had this big thing where they just showed a bunch of trailers. Somebody was like, "Oh, are you going to stream that on the website?" And I was like, "Well, Jason and I were recording Red Dead at that point." And then
I didn't even know it was happening.
Yeah, when we got done, we looked at it, and it was basically just kind of like mostly VR trailers, a few other trailers. Nothing here is blasting your socks off, but there's some interesting stuff here. We got a trailer for Iron Man VR, which anybody who's seen, we never played it, but anybody who did play the Spider-Man Homecoming, it looks to me a lot like that, where this doesn't look like
a little bit more intricate, but a little bit more detailed, a little bit more to do, but about the exact same.
It looks like you're flying on rails, and then you're using your hands to shoot repulsive blasts at things that are happening. Also, it doesn't help that the entire trailer has a big, not actual gameplay footage at the bottom. So, I don't know. This, to me, looks a little boring. This looks like one of those, let's flip a studio, $500,000, and they'll just make us some. I mean, I can't imagine this game is longer than 30 minutes, right?
Yeah,
like the entire game can't be more than 30 minutes to an hour.
It's a good possibility.
And so, you know what? We're getting closer to E3. What I hope we see at E3 is that fucking Square Enix Marvel game.
Oh yeah.
Because I've been waiting for a good Marvel game for a long time, and no Ultimate Alliance doesn't count. I mean, it's not a bad game, but whatever. So we saw that. Another PSVR game that I actually thought was really good looking is called Blood and Truth.
Yeah. I was actually like, once I started looking at it, I'm like, oh shit, this is what I've been wanting.
Yeah. This is one that we've actually. This is the first time that we've seen this, but you're playing as like a spec ops person who's kind of, imagine like a John Wick or like the
Jason Bourne.
Well, what's the Jason Statham driving? The
Transporter?
The Transporter. Kind of reminds me weirdly of the Transporter, but like you're just two disembodied hands, but you're like running around and you're shooting at people, like
you're also sneaking around stuff, sneaking into buildings and all sorts of things.
Yeah, your mom is there for some reason. But yeah, I mean this looks like a full on kind of just hanging out. And I think it does that thing that a few other games have done where making your hands go like your
side to side,
like your Tom Cruise running. That's how you like make yourself move forward. All the faces and all the graphics in this trailer look really good. Like all the action looks cool. I don't know. This is one that looks fun.
It reminds me of that PlayStation VR demo or VR room or whatever the fuck it was called that had like all the like the little like had like the shark tank where you're in the shark cage.
Worlds.
Yeah, PlayStation Worlds. There was one called like the heist or the getaway or something.
Something like that.
And where it's like you talking to a mob boss about a heist that went wrong or whatever, and and there's like multiple endings to it. It reminds me of that.
Yeah,
and I really liked that. Like that was my favorite thing in PlayStation VR Worlds, and I was like, I want more of this.
Yeah,
like, I want this to be like a full like 10-hour game that I can play in chunks.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing is. I feel like the thing I like a lot about this trailer is that unlike a lot of PlayStation VR and a lot of just VR in general, it looks like there's a bunch of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, a lot of games, it's like, oh, well, this game looks fine, but what are you doing? You're just like picking stuff up and looking at it. Or this game is a shooter, but you're just, Arizona Sunshine is just like teleport, shoot zombies, teleport, shoot zombies. Whereas here, you're jumping through a window, you're lighting stuff on fire.
Shooting guns, you're picking up objects, you're breaking. Lock picking and running and jumping and.
Yeah.
Driving cars, and
I'm really looking forward to it. I think this one looks really fun.
Yeah, it looks fun. I like it. Like I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to bust out my VR.
Yep. In fact, I think if this is I think if this game was like 2 hours, like if it was the length of like
a movie,
an action movie, that would be great.
Yeah.
Like if it was just an action movie where I got to be Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
that's his name, right, in the action movie.
Yeah. No, it's MI for short.
Yeah. Let's see. From there, we got a trailer, which I think that I was talking to somebody on the Discord. I think they thought this was a VR game, but it's not. This is a new Observation.
It kind of looks like a VR game.
I totally get that. This is from the Stories Untold people, and this is the one where you are like the AI on a space station, where some shit's going down. So you've got a bunch of people kind of rolling around, and then you controlling various like doors and things. I think this looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks great. And Stories Untold was really good.
Yep. I really liked it. And the ending was okay, but like this looks like it's... Because Stories Untold, I feel like that first one was a standalone game, then they just added 3 more chapters onto it. Whereas this seems like it's all one cohesive thing. And I dig it. Like I like the way that they're doing a kind of like lo-fi filter over everything to kind of hide a little bit of the jagged edges. But I don't know. I think it looks phenomenal. This is the sort of thing that when I see a trailer for this, I'm just like, yes, more, please.
Comes out May 21st.
Put it out immediately. I want to play it.
Yeah, looks good.
So, okay. So say, do you want to lavish any more praise? I'm done lavishing praise.
No, you said everything that needed to be said.
Okay, so the exact polar opposite of yes, please, give it to me now, I can't wait to get it, is... it was only a matter of time before this happened, but Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be in VR, and so with Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted,
Matt Pat is having a Did you see that that video from Game Theory?
No.
With Matt Pat, like he is literally like defeated. Like he was like, I said I was never going to do another video, and it's like that motherfucker.
Scott Cawthorn's going to get you, Matt.
He literally looks in the video like because he does it differently because it's him in front of the camera instead of just him talking over clips. But he just looks so like mentally destroyed by the fact that he's going to have to delve back into Five Nights.
This just looks like the first game, though, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, you know what? the last thing in the world that I want to do is get jump scared in VR. And you know what? What was that game that you and I played that was like based on a horror movie or something? That it was like a
Don't
VR
Knock
game?
Twice?
Was it Don't Knock Twice?
Yeah.
Where like it was like, hey, you know what? I really appreciate this game. It hasn't had any jump scares. And then right before we stopped, there was just like right up in my face. And okay, that was fine because we played that game for like 45 minutes without a single jump scare. And then they did it, right? But I know you, Five Nights. I know you. Like, unless there is literally a checkbox to turn off jump scares, I don't want to play this. Now, I will find somebody who will play this.
I'll play it.
On right. Okay. Well, you do it. I don't like being scared, and I especially don't like jump scares because they're fucking cheap, right?
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like I tried playing what was it, Resident Evil 7?
Yeah.
With VR.
Oh.
And I was like, no, I can't do this.
What about the point where the mom just like vomits bugs into your face?
Yeah, well, no. Like I tried. Like I didn't get very far. I didn't get very far into it. Like literally, I think I got about as far as Jason Murphy did on that one Ragecast.
Yeah, where Mia starts throwing you around.
Yeah,
the world.
Yeah, and it's just like, nope, I'm done. I'm out. VR is out. I'm doing this.
VR is over. But yeah, for people who like Five Nights at Freddy's, of course. I mean, this is like the logical solution. Five Nights at Freddy's doesn't exactly have the greatest graphics engine in the world. People like it quite a bit. And then, hey, guess what? You can get a fucking bear screaming up in your face, and then you're good to go. So,
and then at some point, he can release a Nintendo Labo version. Labo VR version.
Jesus. Crash Team Racing is a thing.
Looks like Crash Team Racing. Some gets your non Mario Kart in on the PlayStation and I guess Xbox.
Yep. I don't know if this is an exclusive or not. I can't remember, but
yeah.
Michael's favorite game of all time, I believe, is Crash Team Racing.
Hey, the Crash Team Racing games were actually really good.
Crash was never something I got into, and obviously it hasn't made a really good impression on me.
Yeah, I mean, I never really played Crash Bandicoot or Crash Team Racing, but I mean, I have played them. They are solid games.
Still, I mean, it looks good. Like all the graphics look fantastic. So, hey,
and they have low polygon modes.
Yep.
For characters.
Get into Crash Team Racing? No, you know what? I think that might be, well, I don't know if they just didn't put it at the end. I think it might be a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. All right. Speaking of things that are not PS4 exclusive, we also got a spicy, hot new Mortal Kombat trailer. They cannot help themselves, these Mortal Kombats. They're just putting out trailer after trailer after trailer. This was the old school versus new school trailer where we got to see basically old versions of Mortal Kombat characters and new versions of Mortal Kombat characters fighting and reacting to each other and doing stuff. And Kung Lao's in the game and Jax is in the game. And
two different versions of Jax.
This, we got Johnny Cage, like old Johnny Cage, new Johnny Cage, and you know what? No, there's nothing so far has made me less interested in Mortal Kombat. I only get more interested in Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
I do not get less interested in Mortal Kombat 11. I don't know. This is awesome, and I love it. And John, do you have anything to say?
I look at this trailer and go, NetherRealm. I already pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition of the game. Stop it! My boner can't get any more erect.
I can't be more excited than I am right now. Please, just cut it out.
I already gave you the money for everything, for all of it.
Yep. So yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't think you or I are people to be impartial about Mortal Kombat.
I will
11,
say, if people want to hear one bad thing about the Mortal Kombat trailers or whatever, is man, they really made a mistake by casting Ronda Rousey as Sonya Blade.
Oh yeah,
every trailer that has her speaking any lines of dialogue sound like the most awkward, stiff, unnatural lines of dialogue of any character in these trailers.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy shit. Like that, she was not the right choice.
Yeah.
But that's the only complaint I have. And everything else is turned up to 11. So that complaint doesn't even matter.
Yep. I can't wait. It's about a month from now. About a month from now.
23rd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. We're going to get it. Let's see. Speaking of things that I'm not excited for, this is a real roller coaster ride. There's a game called Ready, Set, Heroes. We're not going to spend too long on this.
It looks cute.
I don't know.
It looks like whatever.
Kind of reminds me of like Fat Princess Adventures a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a top-down, isometric. You can play co-op with a few different people. Play as little animal guys attacking stuff.
Yeah, looks fun.
It's fine. No Man's Sky, on the other hand, is looks like it could be more than fine. Apparently, No Man's Sky is going to be on PSVR. So
yeah, they're getting a PSVR mode.
I think that might actually get me to reinstall the game because the kind of like marveling at the environments of No Man's Sky, I would be more apt to actually do that if I was in a VR headset.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And then like the kind of driving and shooting and flying, like all that's a little bit more visceral when you're in a VR headset. So yeah, I think that's cool. And if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be a free update.
I think so. Even having said that, even if it's not a free update, I would probably be willing to pump, 20, 30, 15, 20, 30 bucks.
Yeah.
And into getting that experience.
Yep.
Like I given how much they've given us for free so far.
Yep.
In like making the game that we all thought it was supposed to be at launch.
Mm-hmm.
I would totally be okay with like, you know what? I'll give you some extra money to get a VR mode. But if it's free, again, that goes back to
just try it.
They're doing awesome things, just giving us free updates. Like this is something we didn't even ask for and wasn't even, we probably asked for it. But it's not something that was promised at the beginning and now we're getting it.
Yep. No, I agree. Again, I also think that part of the problems that I had with No Man's Sky could be solved by moving it from a flat screen to VR. Let's see. We also saw just kind of a sizzle trailer for a few different things: Mini Mech Mayhem, Jupiter and Mars, that owl game that I think looks really cool. Where you could have an owl.
Yeah. Get to fist bump a hawk.
Yeah. Trover Saves the World, which I didn't know was just going to be like that Astrobot thing where it's like you're holding a controller and then it's like an action game where you're just kind of looking down on it from your big VR
I've heard
standpoint.
nothing but good reviews about it from people who are getting their hands on it, like PAX and GDC and things like that.
I really
I've even seen a few websites claim that it's like the most important VR game you will ever play.
Okay.
I think that's a bit hyperbole. But
well, I really enjoyed Accounting Plus.
Yeah.
And it looks very similar. It looks like similar, at least in humor style, to Accounting Plus. So I'm cool with that. But yeah, there's just kind of there's a golf game and there's some weird. There seems to be a lot of games where it's like you're looking down at a big virtual table, which don't entirely understand. Vacation Simulator though is going to be awesome because, or I don't know, maybe it won't be awesome, but I liked Office Simulator so much that
I'm looking forward to Vacation Simulator. I'll play that.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Work Simulator was great.
Yeah. And let's see, we got a full-on story trailer for Days Gone.
Yeah.
Which kind of gave us a little bit more. It seems the main character is looking for his wife, or his wife is dead, and he's. There's a lot of kind of talking about this guy's wife in this trailer. I still maintain that I can't tell from these trailers that this could either be like The Order 1886 or like, oh, wow, this was actually really good and we all just kind of underestimated it.
Again, going back to, I've watched, read a bunch of different websites. I actually thought, Kotaku's Tim Rogers actually said this is the most AAA game that has ever AAA'd. Meaning that this game does absolutely nothing new that we haven't seen before in 100 other games.
Right. But it does what it does.
But it does them all well. It interlocks them together well to make a solid game.
That's what I'm hoping. Like that's the positive.
Like it's not going to blow your mind with what it's doing,
right.
Or it's not going to be what The Last of Us was when it first came out. It's not going to be what Uncharted was when it first came out. Like it's not going to wow you in that way,
right? But
it's going to be like a solid game.
That's all I want. This one's just so like you look at it and everything that they say about it is like it could be good, could be bad, can't really tell until I get my hands on it. But I don't know. I mean, like, I have hope for it. Like, it seems like it could end up being very good. And it looks nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll get to find out. That's like the end of April too, right? It's like
they pushed it back a little bit, but yeah, I think it comes out in April. Or do they pushed it back and then pushed it forward? I know its release date changed like 3 times since the new year started.
It's April 26th.
April 26th. Okay.
So.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we finally, for the first time since, what was it, like 1 or 2 E3s ago?
I thought it was last year at E3.
Was it last year? Got to see Concretegeni again. This is the one about the kid who is in like a weird town that's got nothing but bullies in it, and he ends up finding a magic paintbrush and painting monsters on the walls that all come to life and follow him around and are cute and cuddly and stuff. I don't think that anything in this trailer...
Yeah, it didn't show me anything that I didn't already know.
I feel like I saw a lot of people that were just like, yeah, check out this trailer for this game that looks really cool. And I was like, I remember that game for a year now. So, but yeah. I don't know. It looks fine.
I like the almost Leica look
stop
to it,
animation,
like the stop motion, like Kubo and the Two Strings,
right.
or Coraline, or any of those movies by that company.
It's because their mouths don't animate. They switch between different mouths.
Yeah, well, it's like I like the fact that it kind of has that style, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it looks like you're playing one of those type of movies, and it's
animated.
also whimsical. It's got a piece of it's got an element of whimsy to it, and
it looks beautiful.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. It looks like looks like it could be fun.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me for some reason of that old PS3 game Folklore. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Okay. But for some reason it does. And it's just having a bunch of monsters and stuff around. But in any case, I look forward to seeing more of this. It looks like a perfectly functional game that's whimsical and fun and, not a waste of your time. So, all right. So from there, let's get back to some actual news for all of 10 seconds before we have the second bout of trailers. So that was all from the Sony announcement. Sony also announced last week that they're going to stop selling digital codes for the PS4 at retail stores. So you can now no longer buy, like, let's say that you wanted to go to a GameStop and buy a PS4 digital version of Mortal Kombat, right? They would give you a code, and then you would take that code
and go.
Yeah. Not happening anymore after April 1st.
Wow.
They're just going to be letting you buy stuff directly off of their service. They're not going to be going through third-party retailers.
Wow.
Yes.
That is...
It's a little ballsy.
That's, like, what's the purpose behind that?
Probably because the retailers take a cut, and they decided, you know what? Look, everybody knows that I'm kind of a pro-Sony guy, right? But, one of the reasons that I keep saying that I want the Xbox to do better is because shit like this is how we see that. I mean, they're not like a bunch of altruistic angels. They're a bunch of assholes who want to make money. And this is one of those things where they probably crunched the numbers and decided that the sales they would lose from brick and mortar digital sales. I actually think that somebody probably just sat down with the math and they said, what we're losing from the cut that brick and mortar GameStops are taking out of what we're selling is less than the customers that we were going to lose, because the customer who wants to buy the game digitally, most of them will probably just buy it from us directly, right? They already have PlayStations. They already have a way to redeem the code. They'll probably just buy it from us directly, and that the people that don't probably don't matter.
So, and I guess here's also kind of the thing that I'm kind of confused on. So is this just with Sony first-party games, or is this with all PlayStation games? Because if I remember correctly, isn't it that the publisher, isn't that something that would be decided by the publisher and not Sony?
I don't believe so, because Sony has to give you a code. You have to be able to redeem a code through their store. So I think it's everything. I mean, from what I'm reading here, I think it's everything that's not, and like physical copies of the game will totally be available.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, on one hand, and
you can buy like a gift card and then take it home and redeem it and like buy the game digitally that way. It's just like you can't literally buy the game directly that you want from a physical retailer digitally.
Yeah, that's
Just a bit of a weirdo one.
It's a weird one, like, because part of me is like, well, that's stupid. Why would they do that? And then there's another part of me. It's like, I haven't bought a digital game at a store in forever.
Right. When I want to buy a digital game, I just buy it on my console.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
why go through the extra step? Like, that's what I bet it is that they've looked at
like it's, but yeah, I
the dropping game, the dropping sales figures for how many of these codes get sold.
Yeah. How many codes get sold and how many do they have to issue? And that's essentially, and if it doesn't get sold, that code sits there. And
yes. So I bet from a logical, again, I'm sure that somebody sat down with a bunch of numbers and crunched them.
And I'm sure if it's because I know some games, like, they actually make like what look like the Xbox gift cards, except they just have the little, you scratch them off and then they have the code for the game under it. So like that's the manufacturer of those get wasted because then you have some that don't sell and they just sit there and.
Or, I mean, they can get stolen.
Yeah,
you know,
they get stolen. I mean, so I can kind of see it, but at the same time, I'm just like, that's interesting. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm torn on it because, one, it doesn't affect me, but again, that's a privilege for me that it doesn't affect me because I buy it from the store. But at the same time, it's also like,
well, see, I'm having a hard time with the scenario of like, I want to digitally purchase a video game, but I want to do it through GameStop, right? Like,
so the only conceit that I can see to that, like why you would want to do that, why you would go out of your way to purchase a digital copy of a game through another store, like specifically GameStop in question,
or like Amazon,
is pre-order exclusives.
Okay.
If GameStop has, if you pre-order this game through GameStop, you get this awesome poster or this awesome book, and like you're like, I want that book. I'm gonna go, but I only want it digital. I don't want a physical copy, so I'm gonna buy it digitally through them.
Okay.
Then I'll get my code through them, and then get my pre-order bonus that they give.
Yeah, that makes a certain amount of sense.
Having said that, a lot of pre-order bonuses aren't physical items anymore. They're digital only, and in most cases, no one does retailer exclusive stuff anymore. It's all, if you're pre-ordering it, you're getting the same thing regardless of where you're.
I look at video games every week, and I don't think I've seen a thing. I mean, I don't think I've seen a single thing from that is retailer exclusive that has been worth it.
Yeah,
in a while.
But yeah, and even then, like I said, most of the games that I've seen that have some type of pre-order exclusivity for a bonus item, it's the same thing you get everywhere else. Like you're not gonna be able to get. It's not like you're going to buy. I don't know. If you had pre-ordered Sekiro, you get some special Sekiro skin. Only if you buy it from GameStop. That didn't happen.
Or in the worst days, it was like, Amazon had one, GameStop had one, Best Buy had one, Target had one, and Walmart had one.
Yeah, and then a lot of people just stopped doing that because it wasn't worth it.
Yeah. I personally think that people who want a physical version are still willing to go buy this stuff, and I just don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to be seeing as many. I think the digital sales have dropped to the point where it's just not worth it for them to go through the hassle.
Yeah. It's they make up that through the sales on their store. So yeah.
Speaking of going through the hassle, Apple announced this week that they're going to be going through the hassle of offering a subscription service.
Yeah.
They're going to be they're jumping into the ring with Apple Arcade, which is going to be a subscription-based Apple game service where you're going to get access to specific games on iPads and phones.
Yeah,
they're not. This isn't like Stadia. They're not doing like a controller, put it on your TV. I don't think.
No, I think you have to have an Apple TV or an Apple tablet or
something that could play games from the Apple Store anyway.
Yeah.
And it's going to be kind of a separate thing where you can download any of the games out of the Apple Store. They've got a few publishers or developers kind of making stuff for it. Apparently it's like none of it's going to have ads or microtransactions or anything in it. Like they're going to be like full games, which it's strange to me that we had to
specify.
Well, no, yeah, everybody just I think assumes that if you're playing a phone game that it's going to be irritatingly full of ads and garbage, right?
Yeah,
and that they have to say like, no, these are like for reals video games, not But then you start wondering like some of the games that are that were part of their little sizzle trailer. I mean, I know they're coming to other platforms that are not just this one. And as somebody who isn't plugged into the Apple architecture, it doesn't really mean that much to me because I'm not going to buy an iPhone.
They're doing a whole digital thing with Apple because I mean they also announced that they're going after Netflix with their Apple Plus or whatever. Yeah, where it's basically they're doing their own subscription services and
for
they're
TV
actually
shows and movies and
also
stuff.
like if you sign up through Apple's subscription stuff, you also get you get CBS All Access as part of that, and like other subscription services through other companies are actually piggybacking onto Apple's, kind of like how Verve is for anime and all the Geek and Sundry and Rooster Teeth stuff. Where if you do their all-in-one pass for $10 a month, you also get all these other subscription services.
Sure,
it's kind of that same thing, except for it's like actual. So the only thing it's not going to have is essentially Verve. Anything on Netflix or Hulu, and then Disney. It's not going to have that stuff, but it's going to have like all the other streaming services that have subscriptions, which on one hand might be fine, but they're really pushing this as we're not just going to be a hardware company anymore. We're also we're going for streaming service. We want to be your source of all media ever in the world, which is kind of, I'm like, I don't know if I want that because the thing is, at their little Apple event that they have every year, their keynote, Apple keynote, whatever the fuck it's called, they kept saying everyone in the world has an Apple product in their pocket, and I'm like, I don't.
Neither do I.
Yeah, it's like I don't.
Yep.
I like
and
not,
I don't want one. I mean, I do not want one.
It just kind of becomes a little like, I don't know if I want that. Like, I don't want it in a world where Apple is like, I have a couple of Apple Macs in my house for computer purposes, but like I don't, and I use an iPad, but like I
do not like how closed their whole system is. And I like the last thing in the world that I ever wanted to do. Well, that, and like I'm sure that it might be better by now, but I spent about a decade being disappointed by iTunes, like being disappointed by the performance and the prices, and like, what do you mean you can't just re-download all your songs a second time? Like
you can. No, yeah, it's all better now.
I know you used to be able to do it, but like, and what do you mean I can't access it through a web interface? I got to download the separate thing, and then that thing wants to like load up every time, and QuickTime needs to get updated 800 times, and like it was just a thing.
Yeah.
And then I went away from it. And I'm like, I'm fine. I got YouTube, I got Spotify, I got plenty of other things, so I am in no hurry whatsoever to jump back into their architecture.
No,
now,
I get that.
If you are plugged into the Apple ecosystem, great. I mean, sure, maybe. I mean, the last thing in the world that I would be more than happy if somebody would start bundling together some of these streaming options, and then, I don't know, maybe put them to your house through like a cable that you could plug into your TV so you get good bandwidth for it, and then you just pay like one company to get all the subscription services that you want.
Well, that's essentially what Apple wants to be.
I was making a joke about cable.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, because I mean, what Chris keeps telling me, like, Doom Patrol is great. And I'm like,
it is.
That's great. I'm not going to watch it. Like, I've just decided you guys have enough of these things. I'm not going to pay for 6 streaming services.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay for more. I'm not going to pay for any more than I already have.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was just
Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, Crunchyroll, and YouTube Red.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I drew the line at YouTube Red.
I would have canceled it, but Cobra Kai season 2 is almost out. So I'm like, well,
yeah.
And,
I was like, I got quiet because I was actually in my head counting. I was like, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Verve, WWE Network, New Japan, which I think I'm probably going to cancel soon. Feel like the DC Universe app, and then Amanda wants to subscribe to the CBS All Access.
Sure,
which she's going to pay for that. So I'm like, that's cool. I don't have to pay for it.
You have 8 fingers up right now.
Yeah.
8 individual streaming services, and that's not
and
all
that's
of
all
them.
I can think of off
Amazon?
the top.
Do you have Amazon in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I counted Amazon's second one. I counted, but that's yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Maybe this will work out, and maybe some indie developers will get some stuff, and it'll be cool. Unless these games come to non-Apple platforms, then it's just going to be, what was Chair's game? With the action game that Chair made after Shadow Complex? that was an iOS exclusive and never got off of it.
I know what
slashy
I
one.
know what you're talking about. Yeah, what sucks is those games aren't compatible with iOS anymore.
Yep.
So like I bought like the first 2, I can't play them ever again.
Yep. Moving on from Apple, Nintendo. There's a lot of buzz that we're going to see some new hardware refreshes for the Switch this year at E3.
Yep.
There's probably going to be one that's going to be like a light version that doesn't have Rumble and costs less. And then one that is more oriented towards like quote unquote pro gamers, which I guess that's what I am.
Yeah, the rumor is that the screen's going to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like that it'll probably, because I think right now the current screen is like what, 720?
Yes.
Like the rumor is that it's probably going to be a 1080p screen or capable screen.
Okay.
The processor inside of it's going to be a little bit better, and probably some type of controller that's not exclusive to it but comes bundled with it that's like the Pro controller or more gamer centric. But that it'll be about the same size and look and feel of the standard Switch, because the big thing I've heard is that they don't want to make any of the peripherals, like the stuff that you can put your Switch in. They don't want to make any of that obsolete.
Oh, okay.
For anyone that already has that and wants to upgrade.
Sure. So no Switch XL is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's basically what I've heard. Now, if that's true, who knows? And I'm reading all the same stuff that you're probably reading too. So
I would like to see a Switch XL, except I guess the Joy-Cons wouldn't work. Would you have to big ass Joy-Cons, huge Joy-Cons on the side of it? So, anyway, we'll find out more about that at E3. Another thing we're going to be finding out at E3 is apparently CD Projekt Red is talking about how this E3 will be the most important one in their company's history, which means that no matter what else happens, we're probably going to get a release date for Cyberpunk 2077.
One would hope.
Yep. I mean, I don't know. CD Projekt Red really strikes me as the kind of like when it's done, one of those developers. But there's also, second rumor that they have another RPG and that they're both going to be coming out. Both CD Projekt Red or Cyberpunk and whatever this other RPG are both going to be coming out next year.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah,
because they're also, I mean, we already know that they're working on something else in the Witcher universe. Yeah. Whether that's like Thronebreaker 2 or like Gwent Cubed or something, I don't know. But so yeah, I mean, hey. It's nice that somebody's going to be saying something at E3 this year. They're dropping like fucking flies right now, you know?
Yeah.
So, speaking of dropping like fucking flies, EA laid off another 350 people because they're the devil, you know.
Because Andrew Wilson needed to make sure that his bonus was not impacted.
What's the quote? The changes we're making today will impact about 350 roles in our 9,000-person company. These are important but very hard decisions, and we do not take them lightly. We are friends and colleagues at EA. We appreciate and value everyone's contributions, and we're doing everything we can to ensure blah, 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 blah. This is what the reasoning for this. He put out a fucking 2. I mean, like, I don't know why I expect anything else, but today we took some important steps as a company to address our challenges and prepare for the opportunities ahead. As you look across a changing world around us, it's clear we must change with it. We're making deliberate moves to better deliver on our commitments, refine our organization, and meet the needs of our players. And so that means we got to fire 350 people.
Yeah.
Because you know, like that's. Which is ironic because either right around the same time or shortly before, we got a report that apparently in its first month, Apex Legends earned $92 million. So, you know, that's an EA game. So having Apex Legends kind of come out of nowhere and like own the space and the $92 million and then like, oh, well, sorry, guys, we got to let you go. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that they have to keep these people on if there's nothing for them to do anymore, but it's like
it also comes off right off the heels of like both EA and Activision. Apparently all the head people have given in the new year, they gave themselves like huge bonuses.
Yep.
And it's like, and then they're like, also we're laying off a bunch of people, but we got those bonuses.
Yeah.
You know, we made the top people at the top who are already richer. But fuck over all the other guys.
I mean, what was the last EA game that was good? And I keep asking myself this, and I'm just like, was it Titanfall 2 was the last EA published game that I enjoyed? I didn't like Battlefield 5. I didn't like Battlefield 1. I didn't like Battlefront 2. I mean, Like, it's funny because I can ask myself the same question for Activision, but they published Sekiro, and it seems like they kind of left From Software alone to make the game that they wanted to make, because there's not a lot of there's not even any cosmetics. You can't change Sekiro's outfit. You can't even change the color of it throughout the entire game, which I would expect them to really hammer down on. But I don't know. Again, I'm not just going to sit here and be drag Andrew Wilson out in the streets, power to the people, down with the man. But it just seems like you guys haven't made a game that I've been interested in. You've actively killed a bunch of projects that I was interested in. Respawn apparently had to beg you to make Apex Legends, which is apparently one of my more favorite games that you guys have put out in years.
Yeah.
And then you just keep shedding people
and
whilst giving
churning
yourselves
out expansions for The Sims 4.
Right. So, I mean, just bleh. Anyway. We got to kick it into high gear now. We did it. We did it even regardless. So Judge Eyes Judgment is sold through almost all of its stock in Japan after it was pulled from shelves. It is still coming out in the West on the July 25th or whatever date. They're going back in and recapturing and then dubbing the guy that was caught doing cocaine. So,
I didn't know that they were actually going to redub him and recapture that stuff. I just knew that it was still coming out in the States, and the States version is going to have the English dub. So
it says that it will be quote-unquote adjusted. Okay. I think they'll probably just alter the character model and then go back and redo the voice.
Oh, okay.
Probably. I'm going to start skipping a few other things here. Let's get on to some trailers. We got a very quick trailer last week for Persona 5 Royal. Which appears to, I don't know, there's not a lot of information on this. It seems like there's a new character.
Yes.
I'd be willing to bet that this is like Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah.
Where there's just a new NPC and some expanded stories and some refining of the stuff.
It seems like that's something they've now decided that they're going to do with the Persona games, because I think Persona 3 did it as well.
Well, I think one of the questions that people had was that Persona 3, when they did it, they added a female protagonist that you could be.
Yeah.
But I don't get the impression that this character from this trailer is going to be a protagonist.
Yeah, and then Persona 4 added a new character and
a new ending.
Yeah, a new ending.
I think it was
a really confusing anime.
Yes.
Especially if you didn't watch the normal one.
Wolfenstein Youngblood got a story trailer.
Yeah, it did.
BJ Blazkowicz kids got the power armor. They're going to go fuck up some Nazis. Woo!
Born for killing Nazis.
Yep, apparently, because my dad killed a lot of Nazis.
They are the Terror Twins.
Yep. This looks fine. I liked Wolfenstein 2 a lot, so if what we're getting is going to be just some more Wolfenstein, I'm totally cool. Just punching a bunch of Nazis in the face and shooting.
And
guns.
if you want, you can play it co-op.
Yep. Oh, can you?
Yeah, I thought that was the thing, is you play it co-op with a friend.
Oh, okay.
Like you play as one sister and the other person plays as the other.
Well, I'm not doing that. I'm playing it all by my lonesome. I don't like other people.
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah. Let's see. We also got a trailer for an announcement for Vampire the Masquerade's Bloodlines 2.
Yeah, this kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was actually...
I'm okay with it, though.
It seems fine. I know that a lot of people liked that first game, but I never really played it, and I was never like Vampire the Masquerade was the thing that the LARPers played in my town, so I didn't really get into it. This trailer looks kind of cool. You got a bunch of vampire powers, and you're blasting people and telekinetics, and there's blood all over the place, and big titty vampires and stuff. Fine. I don't really have any particular I don't know. I've never really been into Vampire the Masquerade. It's just a bunch of vampires with superpowers.
Yeah, I've never played it, like the tabletop RPG, but I played the first Bloodlines. I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
So I'm down for a sequel.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see once it comes out. I am, though, psyched for Divinity Fallen Heroes, which is it looks like characters from Divinity Original Sin 2, but it's like a tactical XCOM style action game.
Yeah.
I liked Divinity 2. I didn't never finish it, but I also really like the idea of, because one of the things about Divinity 2 that kind of irked me was that there were no squares to move to. It was a very open system, so I kind of like the more rigid idea of setting up lanes of attack and things like that. But it looks really pretty. It's not being made by this. I think it's Larian is publishing it, but I think it's a different studio that's actually making it. Streets of Rage 4 looks great. We got
looks like a beat 'em up.
Yeah, we got a trailer for that. The bunch of people rolling around. Axel and who's the other?
Oh fuck,
Blaze.
What the hell? Blaze, yeah, Axel and Blaze.
Yeah, doing a lot of kicking and punching and throwing people.
I just
want to
know where's the kid on the rollerblades.
Oh yeah, the third one.
Yeah.
Well, was he in? He only came out in 3, right?
Yeah. Prior to that, it was he was the younger brother of the character from 1 and 2, or a character of 2.
Okay. Moons of Madness.
Yeah, this looks interesting.
Seems like some Cthulhu on Mars shit.
Yeah.
I'm 100% down with Cthulhu on Mars.
Yeah.
I don't see anything in here that looks like it's not just like kind of like a walking simulator / doing stuff.
Yeah.
But then again, I think I've kind of decided that I don't want to have action elements in my Cthulhu games. I'm kind of okay with Cthulhu just being a walking simulator because shooting guns at the elder gods is kind of dumb. Like running away works well enough, and anything else, I mean, the monsters in this game look fucking terrifying, and I would not want to try to actually shoot them. So
yeah, it looks interesting. Like I've never heard of this game until you pointed it out to me, and you're like, I think you're gonna like this, and I'm like, okay. And I saw Moons of Madness, huh? I wonder if that's anything like Monsters of Madness. Oh God, it's totally Monsters of Madness, but in space, or Mountains of Madness, in space. I'm totally on board.
Yeah, this looks really great. I'm super down with this.
Coming out on Halloween.
Let's see. We're going to skip a few things. Katana Zero that we talked about on the Nindy Showcase last week got a release date of April 18th, so just time for my birthday. That's the little ninja slashy slash ones. I think this game looks really excellent. I love the little pixel art.
Yeah, it looks rad.
For it. And then let's see. We got a trailer that also led into. Speaking of pre-orders and where you can get stuff, Control got some details as to the pre-order bonuses that you will get.
Yeah, and also they announced deluxe editions and things like that.
Yeah, which I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's just a bunch of different outfits for the main character, and then like some crafting resources, which I always, whenever I get that shit from a pre-order, I always just never use it because I'm like, I should save this till I really need it. And then I'm like, no, I don't care. But yeah, if you pre-order Control, you can get some hot outfits for the main character. I think this game just looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks great. And apparently, it has they're kind of experimenting with how they're doing with the format of the game because Remedy is mostly known for straightforward narrative. Go from A to B.
Right.
Apparently, this one is very much in a Metroidvania style.
Cool.
They're
even better.
Yeah, they said there is no when it tells you have to go to a location, there is nothing to tell you how to get there. You have to learn marker like obviously there'll be signs you have to look at the environment to figure out where to go. They're we're taking a big gamble in this game. We're not going to hold anyone's hands. They actually said the biggest influence for how they designed the world that the game is in is Dark Souls.
Yay!
In that they're not you have no map.
Yeah.
You just have to learn the lay of the land as you're playing it.
Yeah.
So
Dark Souls Metroidvania by Remedy, shut up and take my money. I'm going to give me the pre-order bonuses.
Yeah, and it's got a bunch of weirdness like Alan Wake, so throw Alan Wake in the mix.
It's weird. I don't know why Quantum Break didn't click with me, but for some reason this one I'm 100% in.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
I'm on board for it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, I'm a self-proclaimed Remedy fanboy, so I'll buy anything they do.
Well, if you want to buy some Bethesda games, which are not Remedy games, I understand. Apparently, Bethesda is going to be bringing Rage 2, Wolfenstein Youngblood, Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, and Doom Eternal, and Fallout 76 all back to Steam in addition to the Origin launcher store thing.
No.
I think that they probably did the math and realized that they were losing sales because people just want their shit on Steam. Either that or who knows, maybe Valve went over there and was like, hey, we'll cut you in a little bit extra if you bring this stuff over to our platform.
Possible.
So yeah, if you are one of those folks right now that is wanting your stuff on Steam, there's one less launcher that you have to load up in order to get access to your games. Another thing that will probably be on Steam at some point is apparently Daedalic Interactive is making a Gollum video game.
Yeah, for Lord of the Rings, Gollum.
That's going to be like all about Gollum's downfall between killing his brother and taking the ring, and then where he shows up in The Hobbit. That's fine. I don't think that Lord of the Rings games have a super great track record, but hey, you guys keep trying. You know what?
And I also feel like it's also, they're trying to, tackle stories that haven't been told to death.
Yeah,
by the movies and by previous games, and they're just running out of things to adapt. So they're just like, we get the Gollum game.
Next, it's going to be like Harvest Moon, but with Samwise Gamgee after Frodo and everybody leaves, and it's just gotta run that farm, Samwise.
There are people who would totally play that. By the way,
I would probably play that at least for one episode of a dojo. There's gonna be new Shantae 5.
Shantae 5.
Yep. I like the Shantae series, so
yeah, they're fun.
That's gonna be happening. Also, SteamWorld Quest finally got a release date. That's the new SteamWorld game, The Hand of Gilgamesh. It's coming out April 25th.
Nice.
And then we also got the announcement that there's a game called Cyber Shadow.
Yeah, apparently people got to play like a couple levels of it at PAX.
Yeah.
It's from Yacht Games, or being published by Yacht Games.
It's being published by them, yeah. It's being made by a company called Mechanical Head.
Yeah.
And it's some kind of like cyber ninja guy. This looks so much like an 80s NES game.
Well, it's like apparently it takes a lot of inspiration from Ninja Gaiden and Mega Man.
Okay, I can see that.
There's some Mega Man-ness. Like they apparently do change the levels up every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
looks fantastic.
Yeah,
we don't have a release date for it yet, but like it looks great.
Yeah, and apparently everyone's saying the levels that they have at PAX are freaking great as well.
Cool. And last but not least, I didn't have anything super fun this week, but what I did have is apparently just kind of out of nowhere, Risk of Rain 2 is now a thing in early access that you can play on Steam. For those of you who forgot Risk of Rain, it was a little like kind of 2D platformer where it was a roguelike where you just were collecting more and more powers as you went on.
And I think you could play it multiplayer as well.
Yes, I believe so. This one appears to be actually 3D.
Yeah, they added a third dimension to it.
Yeah, behind the back. So I'll have to jam that into the schedule somewhere. I really like the first one. Yeah. So, just FYI, if you don't already know, Risk of Rain 2 out now. So check it out.
On early access.
Yep. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to answer some questions. Everybody stick around, and we'll see you momentarily. Finally time.
Is it finally time?
John, I don't have anybody to talk to Sekiro or talk with about Sekiro. So
I haven't played it.
Yeah, I know. Nobody's played it. Well, I know a few people who are playing it on like the Discord, but nobody that I know, it's not like you or Jason or Matt or anybody is actually like sitting down with Sekiro. But I think I'm close to beating it. And while I don't normally like to talk a lot about games before I beat them, just because I like to get kind of the whole experience, I do feel like I've kind of got a handle on what it is. So for anybody who's been living under a rock and not listening to this podcast, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is the latest game from Software. It is about Sekiro, who is a ninja who is trying to, shinobi and ninja. Is it the same thing? I don't know if that's the same thing.
I don't know.
Anyway, he's trying to get his master back, who's been kidnapped. He's got the ninja code. He's like, it's basically this prince that's been abducted, and so you just kind of jump out into the world and start doing stuff. This is 100% definitely has some Souls DNA in it, but is not like a traditional Souls game. You don't get to create your character. You got one weapon that you use the entire game, and it's just a basic ass katana. You have some ninja tools that you were able to use. Sekiro very early on gets his arm replaced with this weird bone arm that you can load up with axes and firecrackers and like shurikens and stuff like that. And that's very much like the you remember in Bloodborne it's kind of like the guns in Bloodborne, right?
Yeah.
They using those powers costs like a consumable resource that you can refresh, buy, or pick up more of in the world. Like a Souls game, you've got very much like a checkpoint system where you've got healing items that refresh every time you rest at a place. From the very beginning of the game, they give you like the go back to the last bonfire tool. You were able to teleport between the different idols, which are the bonfires in the world. But the real meat of the game is in this whole combat system, which is basically you have an attack button and you have a defense button, and the same button that blocks also parries. Like block and parry are no longer two separate things.
Okay.
If you block at the last second, that counts as a parry. And so everybody has like a bar. You don't have a stamina bar anymore. You have your health bar, and then you have a second bar that's basically like your poise. And when you fill up that bar, when either your bar gets filled up, you go into like a stun state. And if you fill up an enemy's bar, then you get to do these awesome counterattack execution moves on enemies. In addition to that, this is the most like traversal heavy Souls game I've ever seen. I don't even want to call it a Souls game, but it's the most traversal heavy.
No, it's
like
not a Souls game.
From software game I've ever seen, because the L2 button is bound to this grappling hook that you can use to just jump between different areas in the game. There is a jump button in the game. And that jump button actually factors into combat. Like some enemies will do attacks. They get this big red kanji symbol on them, and when they do the attack, you basically have to jump over the attack, and then if you hit the jump button again, you'll do a jump kick that does a bunch of damage to them. So this all kind of factors together. Like the circle button is dodge, and there's actually a skill you get very early on where in addition to the sweeping move. So when that kanji symbol comes up on a bad guy, you're either going to get a sweep you need to jump over, a thrust that you have to hit the dodge button at right the last minute to step on that and you get a counterattack, or it's a grab attack that you just need to use your dodge button to get out of the way of. So when you compare this to like Bloodborne or the Souls game, where like, in a Souls game, you can build a character that's like a magic character. You can build a character that's like a thief or like a dex character or a big high vitality like sword and board character, somebody who's hiding behind a shield or somebody who has a lot of hit points. Here you're not really doing that very much. Like you can upgrade your health and your vitality, and you can upgrade your just straight up like attack power. Like it's just a number that goes from 1 to like 10, I think, or something like that. But you don't really build your character. Like you don't choose where you want to go. Like the most choice that you get is what ninja tools you're using, and then later on you get the ability to create, like there's another attack that you can do by hitting L1 and R1 at the same time to kind of do some very specific types of attacks. You can also hold down the R1 button to do like a stabbing thrusting motion. But what this all means is that your options for how you build out a character in this game, like here's the thing. I think everybody's going to be playing Sekiro mostly the same way, right? Like some people might end up using some of the consumable items to get some buffs. Some people might end up using different ninja tools or different like sub weapons. But for the most part, people are going to be playing this game relatively similarly. So it's like you're not going to see weird builds. You're not going to see strange, ways of playing the game where it's like, in Dark Souls, there have been people who played through the entire game with just a shield, right?
Yeah.
Or, using ranged weapons as opposed to using up close weapons, and that just isn't really possible. So this game is a lot less flexible than your average From Software game. And I think that could be a problem for people, like I was saying in the first part, if you think about this like a Souls game, but it's not really. Like, to be honest, it's closer to something like God of War, last year's God of War, or like Devil May Cry, or like a third-person character action game than it is a Souls game. Like, it's not really an RPG.
Yeah.
Like, you're not making those RPG decisions. Now, there's actually a lot in the world of like for people to talk to, and like there's little mini side quests and stuff. And there's 4 different endings to the game that apparently like there's a break point where like the different endings, some of the different endings will actually take you through different like boss battles. So there is some replay value in that. What it really though comes down to for me though, John, is that like, you know how in Doom 2016 there's some things that happen this way and some things that happen that way, but generally what you're doing is you're shooting demons and then you're doing the attacks and you're punching them or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Sekiro feels a lot like that, where you don't have a lot of different ways that you're going to be attacking enemies, but the whole system of blocking and counterattacking is so rewarding once you start to get it down. Like it feels so good to throw these enemies' attacks right back up in their face and then like get that vital attack or get that execution move. Also, a thing I didn't even realize till yesterday when I was thinking about it was because the parry button and the block button are the same button, like when an enemy goes to attack you, you know, in Bloodborne, right, you had it dodge and then you had the parry, right? So if you're going to parry, you shot the gun. If you're going to dodge, you hit the dodge button, right? In Dark Souls, you have block and then you have parry. So block was L1 and parry was R2. So you got to make the decision, like, am I going to block or am I going to parry? But here, because you kind of have this one major defensive button, it's like if you are trying to parry an enemy's attack and you do it too soon, if you are timing it and you hit the button too soon, well, what you end up with is your block up, right? So you don't take a hit. The only way that you're going to end up taking a hit is if you block too late, right? Because if you hit the L1 button, if you're trying to time it out and you hit the L1 button, you jump the gun on hitting the L1 button, you may not get the parry, but you are going to have your sword up to be blocking.
Yeah.
So it's actually a lot more forgiving than a lot of the other Souls games because it's got that built in. And then it also has this mechanic built in, the die twice mechanic, where if you die, you can bring yourself back to life once. And then later on, there's some more things that can augment that. But that, like, you only lose experience points and money if you die for good, right? If you die and you have to resurrect back at the last statue that you were at, which means that like in the early and mid game, there were a lot of situations where I just run away. And then that was augmented by the fact that the game also has a full stealth system where you can hide. And if you come up behind an enemy and you're hidden and they don't see you, you can do a full execution move and get rid of that enemy. So there's like a lot of strategies early on with like, kill these guys and then like go and run away and go into stealth and then come back and attack. Is that you don't have to be able to face all 12 of these guys at the same time. You can kill this little pocket of guys over here, run away, hide, and then like come back once they've reset back into stealth. So it just ends up playing a lot differently than any of the other From Software games that I played. But like, I love the environment. It's very much this kind of feudal Japan. It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
But then it also has the kind of weirdly disgusting From Software like monster designs and character
I noticed
designs.
that from a lot of the videos I saw of it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if you think there's not some giant centipedes in this game, then you are sorely mistaken, my friend. So far, I found a lot of the boss fights to be an exercise in just like learning the muscle memory of how to do the boss fight. And then like once you've done that, well, you're kind of invincible, right? So I think a lot of the people that there's going to be a certain subsection of the community that likes, say, the build variety, the online play, being invaded. There's no online, right? There's, you know, fashion Souls, all the people that are into those parts of the Souls games, I can understand how they'd be disappointed with this game. It's just, it's not that game. Like, and I feel like
it was never advertised as that game.
I don't think it ever. Yeah, I don't think like there was never a trailer that showed Sekiro wearing different armor or using an axe or outside of the tool axe. But like, I don't think it ever really like purported itself to be anything outside of this very focused story game. Now, I love just playing From Software games over and over again, and I'll play them the same way. Like, I'll play the same build. Like in Bloodborne, I've got like 3 things that I really like to use, and I don't bother doing a Tonatrus run of Bloodborne because I want to play with, you know, the Beast Hunter safe. That's what I want to play the game with. So for me, I love this game. Like, it's amazing to me because It's got a lot of little ins and outs. It's got some interesting areas. It's got giant chickens that I'm able to execute, and I love it. I love the big-ass chickens that I can just fucking get them. It's like they just made a game just for me. I like the stealth. I like the traversal. I like the way it looks. I'm 35 hours into my first playthrough on it, and I'm almost done. I don't, again... I think that this will be the sort of game I will play this game a lot, but then I like to play. If a game is good, I will play it over and over and over again. It's kind of like, when we were talking about Borderlands earlier, right? Like if a thing resonates with you, then like if it's fun, it doesn't become less fun the more you play it. It kind of stays the same.
Well, and I do feel like in the case of Borderlands, there is a point where it does get fun, and you can always play it over and over again from that point on. But it takes so long to get to that point.
That's true.
So long, so bad. It's so bad that it hurts your experience of playing it just to get through to that point.
Yeah,
but you were talking about
no, it's fine. I really like it. I've really been enjoying it. They do okay. So here's some down points, right? Like out of all the stuff that I said, if you're not into that sort of game, then you're not going to want to play this, right? If you need to be able to do your RPG stuff or you want to play online, you're not going to be able to do that. On the other hand, I mean, a lot of people have even pointed this out. There's no summoning help, so
So if you're stuck, you're on your own.
You got to learn how to do it, man. Like there's no,
This is the studio saying "get good, noob."
Right. Well, and I saw a lot of people online who were seemed very happy about the idea that it was aggressively difficult for new players. Personally, I've said this before, but John, personally, I think the game should have an easy mode. It's not online, so you don't have to maintain
I get that
difficulty. I think it should have an easy mode for people who just want to get into this game, and then once they feel good with it, they can ratchet up to normal and then hard or whatever, right? Like I think that the game would be able to because you could see how an easy mode would work is you just make the parry window a little bit bigger, make the enemies slightly less aggressive, give them a little bit less health and a little bit less damage, and that would let people have more chances when at the beginning try to learn that parry system. But so far I really like it. I mean, for me it goes Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and then from there we start ranking the rest of the Souls franchise, probably Demon Souls after that, and then maybe Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 2. I think this game is going to end up right up there at the top with Demon Souls or with Dark Souls and Bloodborne, because somehow they have focused on a game that does all the things that I like out of Souls games. And while it is hard, I like the way that Miyazaki has his narrative. And I like also the fact that there's just a ton of NPCs to have conversations with. And I don't know. It's really doing it for me. There's a lot of optional bosses. They do have some repeat bosses, which, I know that some people don't like that. They want to be very much new stuff all the way to the end. But so far, I have been absolutely loving it. I totally think that if you're down for a challenge, let me put it this way. I haven't played anything in 2019 so far that has been as good as this game.
Okay.
It's been my favorite game so far this year. I know that's a shock to all of you out there in podcast land that Jeff's favorite game so far this year has been the From Software one. But all right, let's take some questions.
Let's do some questions.
MailRaceLine.com is the email address. Danger Dave writes in and says, "Greetings, Jeff and John. I'm on the fence about getting Sekiro." This is the only Sekiro question, I promise.
That's fine.
Maybe you can help me out. Here's the deal. I started but didn't finish Dark Souls 1 and 2. Third-person action is probably the genre of game I'm worst at, and the gloomy gray medieval setting was just not enticing enough for me to push through when I had to try a difficult section for the umpteenth time. However, I love Neo. I played it through over and over on increasing difficulty. Although I only thought the gameplay was okay, I really enjoyed the sort of samurai simulator aspects of the game, like choosing armor and specializing in a weapon class. I appreciated the pseudo-historical setting as well, along with enemies that weren't just guys in armor with swords or angry dragons. And to my surprise, I even got into the multiplayer, which is something I don't generally care about in any game aside from an FPS. I had the advantage of not playing Neo until over a year after its release, so by that time the online community seemed to have been reduced to people who genuinely cared about the game and were overwhelmingly helpful to and respectful of each other. So, if I can't choose my appearance, armor, or weapon class, and I am denied the fun I had with online play, is Sekiro rad enough to merit dipping my toe into the Souls-like waters once again? What do you reckon? Y'all the best. The podcast keeps me entertained at the gym. Many thanks. That's from Danger Dave. Honestly, Danger Dave, like what you've just described doesn't sound like you would really enjoy this game very much. I mean, lots of enemies are dudes in armor. You can't specialize in any specific thing, and there's no online play. I mean, I think it's going to be, like you specifically noted that the gray, grim world of Souls, it's less that because it's more this very feudal Japanese-looking thing.
Again, I think the big thing is people need to not come at this going, well, it's a Souls game. It's not a Souls game.
I don't think it is, yeah.
And the second and then you got to think about it. If it's not a Souls game, then does this look like a game I want to play that's not Souls related? Like,
right.
Because I feel like that's where people are biting themselves in the foot, is that they're going, I like Souls, I like Bloodborne, I like all the Dark Souls and Demon Souls, and I'm going to buy this game because it's from Software and they made those games. It's not going to be what you're expecting.
Right.
But if you if you looked at that trailer and went, those trailers look really cool, that looks fun, looks like I want to play it, then maybe you might like it.
I mean, you can watch our dojos for it, and you'll get an idea of what the game looks like. Like, the game doesn't dramatically shift. A lot of the beginning of the game is guys in armor. There's a lot of castles. There's a lot of ninjas and stuff, and there are different things that happen over the course of the game, but it's not like radically different. And yeah, I think that the better comparison is Tenku.
Yeah,
it's a new Tenku with the weird Souls flavor of
the funny thing is, it was originally supposed to be a Tenku game.
Right.
It was when they were first designing it, it was 100% supposed to be a Tenku game.
Yeah.
And then at some point they started like adding all this extra stuff that they went, maybe this shouldn't be. And when they apparently pitched it to Activision saying, "Hey, what if this is not a Tenku game? What if it's..."
I don't know if it's Tenchu or Tenku. I'm sorry for whatever.
Yeah, Tenchu, whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
We butcher the names anyways.
Yeah.
They're like, they went to Activision and said, "Hey, what if we just made it a new IP instead of limiting ourselves to that franchise?"
Yes.
Because it's starting to not be that type of game. And Activision was like, whatever you want to do, we're cool.
I also think that it has a lot in common with Devil May Cry, in that it's got very much this very technical style of gameplay where where counters and positioning and dodging and stuff really makes a difference. It also reminds me a little bit of Bushido Blade, strangely enough. I mean, that just kind of like very high stakes, 3-hit fights with things, a lot of swords clanking together type of thing. So I honestly feel like it has more in common with those games than it does with Neo or any of the Souls games. I didn't really care for Neo because I thought it was just too repetitive for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, like, there is a great sense of accomplishment, when you beat that boss. I beat the monk from the trailer, right? The big swirly robe monk with the big whatever it's called. Like, I killed that boss today, that fight on the bridge and the cherry blossoms and everything, and it was great. It was wonderful. And I was just like, yeah, suck it, monk, fucking asshole, or lady asshole, because it's a lady apparently. But I think that what you've just described, Danger Dave, it doesn't, like, if you are more interested in a game like Bushido Blade or Tenku or Devil May Cry or something, or God of War, a third-person character action game that has a lot of tight mechanics to it, that's what you need to decide, because it's not anything like Neo. Nothing like Neo, nothing like Souls. It's, again, completely different. So, let's see. Septum Sin versus the World writes in and says, "Dear Rage Lords, I am slowly working on the task of beating all of the Dragon Quest games. Oh, God. Currently on 2. And how to one day work my way up to 11. It, of course, pained me to find out that 10 was an online-only, Japan-only game. I've heard rumors that they may be adapting it for a single-player experience for a U.S. release. Were there any games in a series that you felt ruined things by going online-only? And are there any online-only games that you feel would have been better as single-player? Your patron, Septum Sin versus the World." So I'm not really a big fan of online.
Yeah.
So most games that I feel like are online, I would probably rather have them be single player. Like,
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have Destiny be a single player game. I think I'd rather have Anthem be a single player game. Like, I think I'd rather like, I don't enjoy online, so just about any online game, I'd kind of rather it be offline. I mean, when I go back and play, we're just talking about Souls. When I go back and play Souls, I play offline. Like, I don't want to be invaded. I want to deal with fucking a-holes coming in here and killing my ass.
Yeah.
So, but can you think of a game that it went online to its detriment? Wow, what was that horrible Alone in the Dark game that they made? They wanted to make it like a Left 4 Dead 4-player online thing.
Yeah, that was kind of garbage.
Of course, that franchise has been
Then
fucked for a while.
yeah. I know one game that went online, but it was like it was probably at the time the best decision for that franchise, but I would totally like to see it go back to a non-online.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft. Just Warcraft in general.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just don't get me wrong. Them doing World of Warcraft was the smartest move they could have made for that.
Sure.
It made them billions of dollars and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of would like a regular Warcraft game.
Hell, I'll go one further. I'd like to have a single player Overwatch game. Like, I would like to have a narrative focused first person shooter Overwatch game.
Yeah,
make it a prequel. Make it during the Omnic stuff. But yeah, no, I totally see that, because I mean, how many years has it been since Warcraft 3 came out, and we have heard neither hide nor hair of Warcraft 4 at all.
Yeah, well, they're so focused on World of Warcraft that's where it is now.
Yeah.
Warcraft is now an online MMORPG.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other examples. I mean, just kind of anytime a game decides to go online, I understand the financial reasons. I would have much rather had single player DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5 than the online. I mean, there was a story this week where apparently Red Dead 2 put in races this week, and it's like, why? Like horse races, not like people races, but I don't know. I generally don't like playing online with other people, and so the idea of playing online games or playing games online, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
I get that.
You know, that when you were talking about Wolfenstein Youngblood, or even Borderlands for that matter, like, I play Borderlands like a single player game. Maybe that's one of the reasons that I'm not as into it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I generally play it as a single player game as well, but like, I have friends that also play that game, and they're all often like, hey, you want to play? And I'll be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my time to like, talk to friends that I don't get to talk to anymore because they don't live in Austin. But I mostly play that game single player.
Yeah. Battlefield. I want Bad Company 3, John.
Yeah, Bad Company 3 would be nice.
I want Bad Company 3. All right, let's see. We got another one here. This one comes in from Wiener Schnitzel, who says, hey, Jeff and John, my question this week is, do you know of any games that had interesting ideas as far as gameplay, mechanics, or level design goes, but were executed poorly? The reason why I'm asking is because I am always looking for some inspiration for my current pen and paper campaign, and maybe there are some obscure games out there that can be scavenged for the good ideas that they had. Keep up the good work, and remember to stay hydrated while playing Sekiro. Best regards, and that's from Wiener Schnitzel. So, interesting ideas or gameplay mechanics or level designs, but then were executed very poorly. I feel like we've seen that a bunch of times, right?
Yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I know we've seen it like a million times. We've said it on this podcast when talking about stuff. It's like, yeah, it was great, or no, the game was garbage, but it had some interesting ideas, or if they were just had maybe worked on them a little bit more.
I'm gonna go back to my well of offenders. Back when I used to get really excited about games, and then I would get let down, so I don't really allow myself to get very excited anymore. Jurassic Park Trespasser, I thought was going to be one of the greatest games I had ever played in the course of my life. They got poor Minnie Driver to do all the voice acting for that.
Oh, wow.
And it was like the whole point of the game was that you had this arm. You had an arm that you controlled with the mouse, like in real time, like Surgery Simulator, where you would literally pull your arm out, and then like you would pick up boxes, and then like rotate your wrist by holding down the right mouse button, and then use the left mouse button to grab a thing, and then put that box on top of another box, and to make a way for you to get over the fence that you're trying to get by. Unfortunately, it all broke down at the point when they had you pick up a gun, and you literally had to use this janky, unfunctional surgery. Imagine having to aim a gun in Surgery Simulator. That's what it was like. Imagine having to shoot a raptor that was running at you with murder in its eyes with Surgery Simulator controls. The day that game came out, I called in sick to work and stayed home to play it. No, it wasn't even the game. It was like a leak or something online, and I downloaded it, and I got it, and I was like, yes, I've been waiting for this. This is one of those Game Informer had cover stories, and I've been waiting for it, and I finally got it, and I was just like, oh no. So I don't know how you can make Surgery Simulator into your D&D campaign.
You know what game I thought had some really interesting ideas to it, and it wasn't the best, and when I say it, you're probably going to laugh, but Never Dead.
No, I get that.
Yeah, because it definitely had some really cool ideas, like the idea that technically your character couldn't die.
Yep.
But they also that's not actually true because there is moments where your character does die and it's game over.
Mm-hmm.
But it technically doesn't die.
I didn't think that Never Dead was quite as bad in retrospect.
I liked the game. I bought it. I was excited to play it when it came out. I don't think it was as good as I was hoping it was going to be.
Right.
I feel like there were some aspects of it that really could have used some work. But I really felt like that game had some interesting ideas in it.
Mm-hmm.
And could have maybe in the hands of someone more, our team that was a little bit more skilled could have done something really amazing with that.
I get that.
Because that's the thing you don't really see in games very often, a situation where it's not there's literally a point in the game where you're playing as a dismembered head just rolling around.
Yep.
Trying to find the rest of your body parts. Mm-hmm. And in some cases, you can't get the rest of your body parts back. So you have to find
your arm to your head or something that.
Yeah. You could find and there's sometimes where body parts, there are certain enemies that can get body parts, and those body parts are gone until you find a special thing hidden in the level that allows you to regenerate everything all at once.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was a really interesting idea that maybe not executed to the best of its ability.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, did some interesting stuff. One of the other ones that I like to bring up a lot is because boy, did they make me excited, was Advent Rising.
Okay, yeah.
The idea that was this whole kind of humans on a planet, and these aliens start attacking because humans have the latent powers to become these psychic warriors, and they have all this power inside of them. And so it's you start the game as a third person kind of run and gun shooter, but then as the game progresses, your character keeps gaining more and more psychic powers until by the end of the game you're picking people up and throwing them at each other. But yeah, that was one I definitely liked. I'll tell you another one. This one, everybody remembers this one, I hope. What was the name of it? That shows PSYOPs, the Mind Game Conspiracy.
Yes, I own that on the Xbox. I own it.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to play it, I could totally bring my Xbox and my OG Xbox over here. We could totally play it.
Yeah. That was
I agree with you on that.
Third-person paramilitary action psychic game.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but it is one of those hidden gem kind of games where it's no one really remembers it, mm-hmm. but it was actually, and it's it actually is fun, but it's maybe not as good as it should be.
Yes. Yeah.
Another game that I think has some interesting ideas, except the story focused on all of the not interesting ideas that they presented in the idea for the game.
Okay.
And it became The Order 1886.
Oh, yeah.
That game has some story beats, some ideas in it that are just oh, man, this looks really good. This is awesome. We're going to focus on none of that.
Yep.
And make just the most boring fucking game ever.
Yeah, it was really weird what they decided to really fixate on in that game. when you had the immortal Knights of the Round Table. I don't know, that
fighting werewolves,
and
Nikola Tesla's there making weapons.
Yeah. No, I agree. What was the one that I was just thinking of? Omicron.
Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah,
I love the idea of if your character dies, the first person that touches your character becomes your avatar in the world, and so you technically can't die, and then you could even like maybe strategically die so that the first person that like say touches you is an enemy soldier that you can then use to like infiltrate. Like I like it as an idea, but it was unfortunately way too ambitious for what it actually came out to be. But yeah, I really liked that game, or I wanted to like that game really badly, and then it just didn't. It never really worked out all the way. Trying to think of one more thing. So somebody that was shooting, kind of punching above their weight, or you know what? Listen, this is one that's going to get me in trouble, and I know it, but like, I really liked the idea for Alpha Protocol, but
no, I'll give you that one. I like Alpha Protocol. Like, I actually like it more than most. But then again, I waited to play it until it went on sale somewhere for like $5.
Yeah.
So I spent the appropriate amount of money for this. But they really pitched it as, this is Mass Effect, but in the Jason Bourne style,
right?
Like in modern, like spy espionage, but it's all like multiple choice dialogues, and you're gonna just the way like Mass Effect is, and then it's kind of not as good.
I mean, to me, it seemed like it was just very bland.
Yeah,
like
very bland.
And I know that a lot of people like that game, and someday maybe I'll
like
go back.
That game, but I admit it's not that great.
Maybe I'll go back and give it a chance. But yeah.
I feel like that was definitely them punching above their weight level. Like that was very much they had an idea for a game, and then they just couldn't.
This couldn't make it actually work.
This was Obsidian when they weren't at their best.
Right. All right, Winter Schnitzel. I don't know how any of that would translate into a D&D campaign, but good luck. All right, let's maybe do some Discord questions.
All right.
Let's see. Rayman Ryan writes, greetings again, Dong Lords. In the podcast last week, you talked about stream viewers being brought into a live stream game by a streamer. So we're talking about the Stadia.
Okay.
The way that you could, because it's streaming it, it's like you could literally just join into a stream, right? Like live. But you also touched upon a problem that's been bothering live streamers for a while now, and that's stream sniping. It's a practice where a malicious viewer will somehow join a pro streamer's game while they are live and ruin that game experience for the streamer and subsequently all the viewers.
We've experienced that.
Yep, by messing around and not playing the game properly. This happens a lot with Overwatch streamers. I love the idea of being able to jump into a game if you're invited by a streamer like yourself, but with that, there will always be the bad eggs who try and ruin it for others. Just wondering what your opinion on the subject of stream sniping and general bad conduct in Twitch streams is, and how you would deal with that sort of disruptive online behavior. As always, loving your work. And that's from Rayman Ryan. So, I think the most egregious example we had was we were playing Team Fortress.
Yeah, Team Fortress 2.
And somebody had a cheat on that made them invincible.
Yeah.
And we just eventually just shut it down and played something else. I think they even like followed us from like server to server. Yep, they were just watching us and going from server to server. I'm not a big fan of trying to ruin other people's fun. I think that's that's shitty behavior, honestly.
Yeah,
I don't find anything really funny about it. Yeah. So especially, I tell you what, like if I'm playing Apex Legends and you decide that you want to be that guy, I'm like, I'm probably not going to win a game of Apex Legends at this point. It's fine, but I don't like it when people get shitty. Like I had to institute on the Twitch channel the thing where if you banned, like you have to be subscribed to Rage Select for an hour in order to be able to comment.
Yeah.
So because when we first came back with Sunday streaming, somebody out there just had it in for my ass. I don't remember what it was, but they were just constantly making new accounts coming in to bother me. At one point they tried like pretending to be my ex-girlfriend to like bother me because I don't know why. Like, I don't know why they were being like that. But, like, I'd ban them, they'd make a new account. I'd ban them, they make a new account. I'd ban them, they make a... You know, it turns out that Twitch totally saw that coming and has a way to get around that, right? And ever since I instituted that thing, they're not around anymore. Because, you know, if I ban you... Like, first off, if I just see a bunch of garbage accounts start to subscribe to me, I can just, like, pre-ban them.
Yeah.
And if I ban you in the middle of it, you can make a new account, but you can't comment for an hour. So, you know. But generally speaking, I mean, like, I think that stream sniping is the same as cheating in an online game. Like, I don't know, you're just fucking up fun for everybody else. Like, you're just a shit weasel at that point.
You're a child.
Yeah. Like, you're just like, haha, you know, I'm going to win, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to ruin it. Like, I've never really been able to understand, like, what the mindset is behind somebody who's like, I'm going to ruin everybody's fun. And then when they're mad, I'll laugh at them for being mad. Like, I'll laugh at how upset people get when it's like, we're just trying to have fun and you're trying to be an asshole. And, you know, I guess people like it because they get attention. Some people don't care as long as they get attention. Like, they don't care if the attention is good or bad. Some people don't even want
the attention. They just want the reaction.
Yep, that's true. So we only had you know what? That's not true. We also, when we played the episode 7 DLC for Battlefront 1, like the weekend that the movie came out, and people were coming in talking about the Kylo Ren and Han Solo at the end of that movie.
Yeah,
like just like 2 days after the movie had been released. I think I had shut down the stream and put it on like the website sans chat because I couldn't control the number of people, because that's all the people were doing. It was like they were when episode 7 came out, this was like the Snape kills Dumbledore thing, where they were just like, anywhere a person could put that spoiler about Han and everybody knows, like, I don't have to tiptoe around it, but anywhere anybody could put that spoiler, I feel like they were. And like, for that day, we were trying to just play Battlefront, and it was just like, as fast as I could ban them, there would be 2 or 3 more people, because I think they were just looking for anybody playing anything Star Wars, and then going into the chat to spoil the new movie because, like, fuck you. And I don't even know if don't think I'd even seen the movie at the time that happened. So that got spoiled for me, even though I don't know. In the movie, it's not exactly it doesn't exactly come out of nowhere. In The Force Awakens. So. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, I feel like I don't like it when people are bullies. I don't like it when I don't even really like it when people are overly, like, critical, because they're generally a lot of people who are very critical are very mean about being critical. Like, there's a couple of different ways you can go about criticizing a thing, but I'm just not a big fan of negative behavior.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, stream sniping. It's a bunch of garbage. Let's see. Slot says, let's say you were inflicted with a curse that you could only play games from one developer for the rest of your life, past, current, and future. What developer would you choose? Jeff, let's make it more interesting for you and say another studio that isn't From Software, because I know the actual answer. I don't know that I would pick From Software, because, I mean, like, at a certain point I just kind of get tired of I'm finished with their games.
Yeah. Like, I kind of feel like the same way. Like, I'm like, well, I want to say Remedy, but, like, they don't put out a lot of games.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably say Double Fine, because they do actually tend to put out a lot of different games.
Okay.
And then also, that would also get me access to their Amnesia Fortnite demos or betas or whatever. Their Amnesia Fortnite, like, alpha builds or whatever.
Yeah.
That just game jam stuff, and I'd play that shit. Like, and again, because I feel like their games are very inventive, very creative, and a lot of fun. So I'd probably go with Double Fine.
I think I would go with Rockstar.
Rockstar is also a decent one.
Just because I like it's like, if I could only play those games. Well, I'm not saying that, like, Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead are, like, the best games that have ever existed, but I'm saying that the thing is that I would love to just say something like, like Capcom, right? But they're a publisher, not a developer.
Yeah.
So, like, when it comes to an actual developer, I think that Rockstar has maybe Rockstar, maybe Blizzard. I think that you could probably make a good case for, like, you get a lot of variety with Blizzard, right? You get Diablo, you got Warcraft, you get Overwatch. Like, I could probably play through most of those games over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, because From Software, I mean, who knows? Like, who knows what the fuck is going to go on with them? Or like, even I was thinking about when I was talking about saying Capcom. Capcom was garbage for a while there, right? So like, you never can say, or you never can tell when a company's going to be like any good or not.
Yeah, I stand by my Double Fine.
I'll stick with Rockstar.
Like I said, I'm also Remedy. Like if someone told me I can only play Remedy games, I'd be happy as a pig and shit.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't play as many video games as I do, but or as often as I do. But yeah, either of those companies, I totally focus on only their library.
Okay. Let's see. Kate Josie says, "Hello, favorite gamers. I cannot wait for Mortal Kombat 11.
Neither can I.
I keep showing my girlfriend trailers for it because it's the only game series I've kept up with since I was 3 or 4. Oh my god, I'm old. I played every single numbered game. Sadly, Shaolin Monks got lumped in with Sub-Zero and Special Forces in my friend group at the time. Is there a series that comes to your mind that had spin-offs that were horrible except for one? Or where the entire series became horrible, but you stuck with it anyway? As long as Rage Select says the thing, I'll always be a patron. Love Rage Select, and I don't want it to go away." Well, thank you, Kate. So let's see. Bad spinoffs except for one. I know it had bad spinoffs except for there was one really good one. Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Only Peace Walker is a good one. Like Acid, I don't like it. Portable Ops, I don't like it. Like the document of Metal Gear Solid. I guess, well, let's see. Hold on. Metal Gear Rising is technically a spinoff, and that's not a bad game, but I
think that still fits.
Yeah,
what you're talking about. That still fits what the question is asking. I'm trying to think like what's a game that I've had.
I'm just trying to think of games that have a lot of spinoffs. Were there any good Resident Evil spinoffs? It's like Gun Survivor and the
Umbrella Chronicles. Is that it? I feel like there was at least 2 more.
Oh no! Wait, hold on. Operation Raccoon City and the Umbrella Corps or whatever that dumb one was. You maybe say the Raccoon City Chronicles was the only good spinoff from Resident Evil.
Yeah. Well, it's like I was trying to think about. I was like, well, I don't know if Assassin's Creed would fall into the only had one good spinoff, because I actually generally liked most of their little spinoff titles. But that's definitely a franchise that kind of I'm not.
Well, what would you consider a spinoff?
Mobile games.
Oh, okay. Because I think that the one with
the card game,
the lady,
the Assassin's Creed Chronicles.
Yeah. No, not that. Those were like the side-scrolling ones. But the one that had the woman.
Oh, Liberation.
Like, Liberation. Yeah, that was. I think that was better than a lot of the frontline entries at the time.
Yeah, no, it was. The PSP game was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Just think about the franchises. Star Wars is nothing but spin-off, so there's not really much to say there.
I was trying to think if Dead Space had any good spin-offs.
The only good Red Dead Redemption spinoff is Undead Nightmare, and I'll stick with that.
But
I mean, it's the only one. Period. But
it's not really a spinoff; it's a DLC.
Yeah,
even though it was released by itself, like you could play it without owning.
Yeah.
Later.
I'm trying to think of anything. I still think that Killzone Shadowfall is the best Killzone game out of the entire franchise, counting all of them, because Killzone was never really very good. Halo ODST? The only good spinoff? The only other thing, I guess, would be like Halo Wars, maybe?
Yeah, Halo Wars or Halo Reach.
Is Reach a spinoff or a prequel?
It's technically a prequel.
See? Ha-ha! Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to think of that many spin-off titles.
Yeah, I'm also trying to think of like long-running franchises.
Yeah.
Like if we want to take it in Mortal Kombat, the only thing I can think of that's been around as long as Mortal Kombat is Street Fighter, and Street Fighter hasn't really had spinoffs. I mean, unless you count
Street Fighter the movie.
Well, I was like, unless you want to count Final Fight. Final Fight, yeah.
Final Fight was pre-Street Fighter, though.
Was it? No, Street Fighter was before Final Fight.
Street Fighter 1.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah,
I think so.
But like, unless you want to count like that, or Street Fighter Alpha was all great. Street Fighter EX was.
Has there been a Tekken spinoff? Like a Tekken single player game?
There was a single player mode in one of the games that was actually like a third person brawler where you played as one of the characters.
What was the other question that come to mind? Or entire series that became horrible, but you stuck with it anyway? Oh, Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed is probably my answer there, even though I've kind of dropped off of it now. Resident Evil went through this weird thing of it got bad, but then it's getting better now.
Right. Yeah.
But, yeah, I can't think of...
That's all right. Let's see. We've got one more from the Discord, and then a couple more out of the old email. Dan says, I'm drunk. Best video game twists now. Best video game twist, John. What do you think?
I mean, I'm thinking of them, and like I know what some people's other people's answers would be, but I don't know if I'd agree with it.
Yeah, such as
BioShock's.
I think BioShock's twist is a hell of a twist.
I think I agree with you. It is a hell of a twist, but I don't know if I would say it's the best video game twist.
Yeah,
but I think I do agree. As much as I don't like the first BioShock game, I agree.
Do you not like the first BioShock
I don't like BioShock 1 or 2 at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not because I just can't get into the games.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I understand people love it. I love BioShock Infinite. I don't know why I love BioShock Infinite, but I just cannot play BioShock 1 or 2.
Is it just claustrophobic under the sea kind of thing, or
no? I don't know what it is. I just find the games boring.
Okay. Yeah.
It's weird. Okay. I agree, though, that the twist in BioShock is a really good twist.
I think so. I think it's one of the best, just because
I was one of the first to kind of do it, too.
Well,
it was the first to do it.
The idea that it's like, you've been trained to play video games a specific way, and so you got the guy on the radio telling you what to do, and then it's like, haha, you were under mind control, and you're like, no, I wasn't. I was just doing what the game told me. Wait a minute, what's the difference?
Yeah, it's kind of it's a nice little twist. Dog sneezed.
Oh, I was like, "What?" You were looking over your shoulder. I'm like, "Is there a robber? Is Matt Frank here? I mean, what's going on?"
Yeah, I don't know. It just sounded like your dog sneezed downstairs.
Okay. Let's see. Big old video game twists. I'm just trying to think of some of them in my mind. Some of the bigger ones. You know what? It's very much of the same thing. It's actually even kind of in the same vein. But I really like in System Shock 2. When at the beginning you're being led by this like political officer, and then when you go to the room where she is and she's dead, she's a corpse, and then the screen changes from her to Shodan, and Shodan is like, I like that quite a bit. Let's see.
I'm trying to think of some good twists that have happened in video games.
I should be able to just rattle some of this stuff off, but okay, so here's a few. Braid. You know how at the end of Braid it turns out that you were the villain, right?
Yeah.
The Spec Ops: The Line, that kind of
that one. I don't think that's. I don't really feel like that was a great twist. I thought that was kind of contrived.
Yeah. Rockstar is very twisty.
Yeah, they do a lot of twist stuff.
Killing off John at the end of Red Dead, and the whole thing I keep talking about in GTA 4, where GTA 4 asks whether you like the girl or your cousin better, and then kills whoever you say.
Yeah.
GTA 5 had a kind of, and that was why GTA 5's ending kind of went for me, was because it was just like, all right, let's go kill everyone, and then the game is over.
Yeah. Heavy Rain's twist was garbage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was probably like the worst twist ever.
Some of these are terrible. This website is terrible.
Well, the website you just pulled up is going best, worst, best, worst.
Oh.
So if you actually look, like it says worst, this,
okay.
best, this, worst, this.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, piss off! I don't like this website anymore. They just said that Cereza being young Bayonetta was like worst, and I'm like, oh, fuck you! I like that part.
Yeah. Well, they also said that Raiden being revealed as the main character in Metal Gear Solid 2
is like worst.
The worst.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of these I don't even recognize. See, what in the hell is this? Best playing as the Arbiter. That's not a twist, is it? I mean, is it?
I don't know.
Okay. I will agree with worst with that your son is the leader of the Institute in Fallout 4.
Well, that one was only the worst because it was so telegraphed.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I got out there, like, where it's like, they start talking about how the Institute probably took his son. I was like, oh, he's probably going to be the leader of the fucking Institute.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one. Knights of the Old Republic, when it turns out that you're Revan.
Yeah, that's a really good one, actually.
Because the Revan is masked and then it takes it off and it's whatever your character's face looks like.
Yeah, that was actually a really good one.
That was a very good one. I don't see, that's not a twist. Some of these are not twists. BioShock, Star Wars. God, this website is so irritating.
You opened up a website that just nothing but ads.
Yeah, Red Dead. Silent Hill 2 was... there was some twistiness in there. It was pretty good. It was Heavy Rain. See, people keep saying The Last of Us, where Joel goes psycho and takes Ellie away, but I don't think that was like a twist.
That was a choice, wasn't it?
No. I mean, you didn't have a choice about whether you're going to do that or not. It happens regardless, but I don't know if I would consider that to be like a twist. Like, I feel like the whole game was building up to that point.
I feel like the twist was what the thing that caused him to go psycho.
Yeah,
which is the whole, what you didn't know that they were gonna have to kill her.
Right. They keep putting Samus is a chick in these like twists.
Well, that was kind of like the earliest video game twist in a video game, because you didn't know your character was a girl. Everyone thought it was a dude, and then you find out it's like, whoa, mind blown.
When they kill off one of the characters in Modern Warfare, that was a real shock to me when I saw it. I was just like, holy shit, you don't kill off the characters in your video games. That's crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of these lists are also putting like Wesker was evil, and I'm kind of like, yeah,
that was also kind of telegraphed.
Yeah, a little bit. Anyway, let's wrap up with a couple of last questions. Let's see. Jerry writes in and says, greetings, Arbiters of Rage. Jerry here. Recently, I've been giving some thoughts to moving out of home and giving it a go at living alone. My question is, what was your experience when you first made that leap out of your parents' house? What should I expect? Long live Rage Select. And then he asked me a spoiler about Red Dead Redemption 2 that I'm not going to read out loud on the air. Suffice to say, I do believe that people can be redeemed. The answer to your question is that particular individual, yes, I'm not going to say anymore. So,
you can tell me after.
Okay.
So that I can know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Evil scumbags, like I talked a lot about earning redemption by trying to be a better person.
Yeah.
And without getting into specifics, there are characters in video games that are just evil fucking scumbags.
Yeah.
They never stop being scumbags.
Yeah.
So the thing is that if that character tried to be better, then they could gain redemption.
Yeah.
If they tried to be better and weren't just worthless scum piles the entire time.
I agree with you on that.
You have to stop being evil and start trying to not be shitty in order to gain.
You have to want the redemption to get it.
Right. Exactly.
And then make the necessary efforts to get it.
Yes.
Anyway.
But
yeah. What was the actual question again?
Moving out on your own. What should I expect? A lot of trips to Target to buy shit. You're going to need pot holders. You're going to need like cups and like a towel. And
so I will say, when I first moved out into my own place that didn't have any, because when I because I went from living at home to living with my aunt and uncle while going to college, and then moving out into my own place. The first thing that was weird to me was silence.
Oh yeah.
And what I mean by that is because I mean, I don't get me wrong. I've lived in places where I've lived with family or whatever, or had roommates, and there's silence. There's moments like, late at night or whatever, and there's silence. But when you're by yourself, and there's at least that first night or whatever, because you're always expecting some kind of noise from whoever else you're used to being around, whether it's family members getting up in the middle of the night, or someone watching TV after you've gone to bed, or someone snoring really loudly or whatever, that just aren't there.
Yep.
And then you start hearing the new noises that occur wherever you move to that you're not used to. And you kind of have to get over that. Now, like I said, that's the first night.
Sure.
Typically, you get over it pretty quickly because it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Once you learn what's normal, what the normal noises are, and you get over not hearing the old noises, it's not a big deal. Usually it takes like less than a week.
Put on some music. Maybe it doesn't take any time at all.
Yeah. Or go to bed watching a TV show or something. That's what I did for a while.
Yep.
Just don't leave a surround system on that stays on when your TV is turned off, and leave the DVD for Evil Dead 2 in there, left on the menu screen, because it's silent outside of little groans and like creepy noises.
Oh, good.
And I normally it was funny because my power went out. And then it came back on, so my DVD player just spun up the DVD menu.
Okay.
And so, for 2 days, because I didn't watch TV, because I was literally going to work, coming home, reading comics, and I just wasn't watching TV or for whatever reason.
Right.
And for 2 days straight, I'm like, what the fuck are these creepy noises that I'm hearing? Until it took me a while to realize, those are coming from my speakers of my surround sound. I left Evil Dead 2 in the DVD player.
Yep.
But that's the big thing. Obviously, buying all the stuff that you didn't realize that you knew you needed because your parents or because family members had it.
Yeah. Things like a can opener. You're not going to take your parents' can opener when you leave their house.
Yeah.
And you're going to need a can opener at some point. Yep.
Towels, bed sheets, towels, can opener.
Yep.
Forks and spoons and knives and plates and cups and
so many cups.
You could always do what most people I know do, is that the first month that they're living on their own, they go to places that they go eat at places that give you plastic cups that are reusable.
Oh yeah, Rudy's
Barbecue or any other place that
Mighty Fine Burgers
or a bunch of other places, so that you can take the cups home and then you have cups.
You have some cups. Yep. Get some paper plates. Start out with. Yeah. I mean, you're going to find there's going to be a lot of stuff that is. I mean, I don't know.
Doing your own laundry if you don't already do it.
Yeah. Yep. I guess when I first moved out, I moved in with a roommate.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get to the point where I was actually all the way out on my own. And a lot of it was I moved from having a bedroom and a shared living space to a very small apartment. So I was kind of able to expand a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I moved from that place into another place. And I think I actually went back to having a roommate. I didn't. No, when I moved to Seattle, I lived on my own, but
I went kind of similarly. I went living at home with my mom and my sister. Then when my mom died, I moved in with my aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
And then from there, I moved into my own apartment. And I lived there for about 7 months. And then a friend needed a place to crash. I was like, oh, you can crash at my place for a couple of, until you get back on your feet. And then at some point I was just like, you just want to
just get a 2-bedroom?
Well, no, I was just because I was already living in a 2-bedroom. And I literally wasn't using the other room.
Yeah.
Except for storage. I was like, you want to just move in here and help me pay rent and I'll get you your name on the lease or whatever? And he's like, yeah, sure. So then and then from then on, I've always had a roommate.
Yeah. It's funny one of the questions here is what made you first take the leap out of your parents' house? It was just I couldn't wait to go be on my own. I was at the point in time, I mean, I was a surly teenager and I wanted to be out there doing fucking banging around. So it's kind of a prestige thing where my friends, the ones that were out on their own seemed happier.
For me, it was I was pissed off at my uncle.
Oh.
Well, and it wasn't even like a pissed off thing. Like, I'm actually glad I did it. And he basically was like, if you're going to be living here, I expect you to have a full degree and graduated from college within 2 years. None of this 4-year bullshit. And then I went, well, then I'm moving out.
Bye,
and moved
Felicia.
out. Like, literally, this was in the middle of my first year in college.
Yeah.
And I was just like, then I'm out. See you later.
Right.
And then shortly after that, I dropped out of college for reasons I won't go into. But it was very much he did the under my house. If you're going to be under my house, these are the rules. And I went, that's not
silly.
That's not even something that is reasonable to ask of me.
Right.
Like, it would be reasonable. It's like, hey, you're going to be here. I want you to be in college full time.
Right.
4 years. You can have a part-time job, but I don't want you working more than X amount of hours. You're not going to pay rent. You're going to have all this paid for, but the rule is you got to be college full-time, making credits.
Well, people who go to college full-time, it takes them 4 years, right?
Yeah,
it's not like you could shove in more classes and then you would just be doing nothing but
what
studying.
He actually wanted me to do was to quit my job completely and not go hang out with my friends and literally just go to classes every day, all day, and basically
and then do homework all night every night.
And I was just like, I need, and I even asked him at one point, I was like, where am I going to get money for gas? He's like, well, I'll put gas in your car. Well, what if I want to go hang out with my friends? Well, you'll have to figure something out for that. And I was just like,
bye.
Yeah, I was like, what if a movie comes out that I want to go see? Well, you're going to be too busy with college. I was like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
All work and no play is the worst kind of thing. And literally, his mind was in a good place. And also the thing is, that's what he did. He went and graduated college in 2 years.
Right.
Like, he decided, I'm going to go to college, and then makes a lot of money doing whatever it is he does. And his heart was in the right place. It's just, he did something that he thought was going to motivate me. And instead it made me go, then I'm out.
Yeah. He put an ultimatum to you, and you chose the ultimatum. You chose one of the sides, right?
Yeah, and he honestly, I honestly don't think he expected me to graduate in 2 years.
Yeah.
But I think he thought that was going to light a fire under me that would get me through college better and be more focused on college. And instead it had the opposite reaction.
I could see it.
Because I was already, disillusioned with college at that point.
Uh-huh.
And I was already on the verge of dropping out before all that happened.
Yeah, see John's orientation with asshole film studies story.
Yeah. So it was just kind of one of those things where it was just like, nah, man, if I'm going to have to get my own place, fuck it, I'm out. I might as well just pay my own rent. See ya.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. It'll be weird. It'll be an adjustment, but you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. And with that, I'm actually going to call it done because I think we're already over the 2-hour limit.
Of course we are.
So, John, if people want to hear you talk more about your life, where can they hear that?
Well, they won't hear me talk about my life, but they'll hear me talk about the media I consume.
Okay.
Over at Geek Bombast. You can do a search for it. We're on a bit of a hiatus right now. Should hopefully be back in a couple of weeks, but
okay.
Geek Bombast. Do search for it on iTunes. Stitcher, Spotify. If you want to go to our YouTube page, it's bit.ly/Geek Bombast. We don't have enough subscribers to actually get a
custom
YouTube
URL.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And you can send your questions into mail@rageselect.com and we will answer them. Yes. This is the end of the Rage Select podcast, and now John and I are going to play the Mortal Kombat Online beta. Ooh, yeah! Can't wait.